Do. Healing just fine. When you have a wound, Appleman, I'm sure you've been into plenty of scrapes in your life. Is that little white cap? It's called a white cap. There's a reason why I kept it bandaged. There's a reason to prevent excess scarring. Now, what you're seeing is a white cap. And what that is, Appleman, is new epithelial cells that form to form a new layer of skin. Right there, everything is working just fine, Abbo. The reason you see a streak of red, because the main point of hit was there, then it's scraped down there, that's still red. No infection, a normal epithelial. That's an epithelial cell right there. You see that white? See that white? Those are epithelial cells, Abbo, which forms new skin. And the reason, Abbo man, that you cover your wound initially, and you need to keep it moist initially. Well, the bandage is off last night. Just want to get something straight. Everybody's an expert lawyer on here, and they're expert on everything. And come on, Abbo, I'm sure you got into a lot of scrapes in your life because of your mouth, shall we say. But that's normal healing. And the reason you put a bandage on initially is that, well, first of all, if you had bleeding, started off with that. Didn't change your bandages daily. But, prevent any bacteria from getting in. So what you do, Abbo, is you clean the wound. If you got Baxidol, never use hydrogen peroxide, never use alcohol. That could actually damage your skin, Abbo. It could damage and help prevent any epithelial cells from forming. That's fact. So you want to keep it moist initially, but covered. You could put a Vaseline if it ain't infected, or if you want to prevent infection, which I did, you put immediately an antibiotic cream on there, an ointment. Okay, so when you do that, you're also keeping your wound moist. You want it initially, no, you don't want it to dry out right away. And the reason you don't want it to dry out, because this will prevent scarring if you do the right way. Like on my other leg, I got scarring. I didn't do it right. This is nothing even related to Fazio. You got the epidermis, you got the dermis, you got other subcutaneous levels of your skin, because you have multiple layers. Fazio had infection that went all the way in to a skin level that, well, got into his bloodstream and created sepsis. So now, you see, I could take the bandage off, which I did, as you can see. And it's healing just nicely. That little white cap, it's not pus. It's new cells that are actually forming to actually create this wonderful life, you know. New skin. New skin. Ain't that a miracle in itself, how the body repairs itself? So those pretend to be lawyers and so forth, experts on just about everything. The only thing Abbo Man is an expert on is chain smoking and drinking and treating women like shit. There you go. And having a big mouth. Yeah, I'm sure he knows what scrapes are. I'm sure at his time in Australia, His mates beat the shite out of him because he has a big mouth. So I'm sure he knows what he should be an expert on scrapes. My opinion. There you go. It's healing marvelously. I don't know a lot about everything, but I know a little about a lot of things. This is one of them. And by experience, I've had plenty of scrapes in my life, and I know when to see a doctor. So when I had that little injury on the other leg, I knew whether or not I needed to see a doctor, el doctoro. It was a good thing I did, because it could have wound up like Fazio's rotten legs. Smart enough to know when to see a physician. I've had scrapes in my life. So there you go. Looking good like a wound should. Now, if your wound is still raw, if you go out anywhere, you will work in the yard, you're going to go anywhere, it's good to keep on your main injury area, it's good to keep a little Band-Aid or something on there. In initial stages, you don't want to expose it to any other of the unhygienic elements that are here in the Philippines. Then when you get home, you can take it off. Keep it moist for a few days more to help the epithelial cells grow, form new skin, keeping it moist for a while. Then, yes, you could take the bandage off, and as you put it, let it air dry. I don't know, so many experts on here. Well, Abbo, man, you haven't reached my age yet, but I reached my age because of knowledge and how I take care of myself. I don't think you stand a chance of reaching my age along with a few other people on here. I'll guarantee that. I've been around the block a few times and back. You know what I'm saying, Abbo? I'm still here. I must be doing something right. At Magical 13, there we go. They laugh about that, but those are my die-hard viewers. It's not the numbers, man. It's the magic. It's not the numbers. It's the magic. So, yes, wound is healing right on schedule. Still don't sweep dirt or do something like that while it's healing. And don't interrupt the epithelial cells' production. Don't wipe on it too much or anything like that. You can clean it off very gently, Abbo, with something like Baxidol or something, which will clean the area, keep it clean. Keep it clean. You know how to keep it clean? I don't think you do. Nothing you do is clean in your life. There you go. It's healing marvelously. Marvelously. Thank you very much. Matcha tea, as I always do in the mornings. Matcha man. Abbo wants to be a matcha man. Well, it takes a lot to be a matcha man. You gotta earn it. And you gotta live the life of a matcha man. Okay, so hold. Alrighty. Oh, she's a busy beaver this morning with the yard. And you don't have to really be that clumsy to have these things happen to you, wannabe matcha man. Shit happens sometimes, that's why I call them accidents. when you least expect it, something happens. You don't want it to happen. That's why it's called an accident. And I'm not that clumsy, but shit happens. Ask your friend in jail. Shit happens. Okay, what's the word of the day today, folks? Is, what do you call exploding? Our other platform on there. And if it's exploding, what is exploding? Discord. What's the new explosion as of yesterday? The PDF file. What about it? Whose PDF file? I don't know. Is this Gypsy Walker? Who is this? I don't know. Different name. I don't know what the language is there on your handle. I don't know if it's Korean, Chinese. I don't have a clue. Oh, I get you, PDF, pedophile. Okay, a little slow this morning. Okay, gotcha. No need to answer that. Well, I guess he wants to be in the attention. He wants to be the new Barry J. Oh, you think that's Mike Luna? Well, they can't get on my show. They got to go into sock count names. Mike Luna, he's quite an active troll, isn't he? Don C. Elephant Simp. No, Don C. still insisted he never had a bankruptcy. I got the paperwork. Yeah, it's not in front of me. I forgot when it was discharged. It was a Chapter 7. But he doesn't want that information to get out. And that's why he adamantly is just keep on talking about it every time he goes on somebody's live stream. It wasn't me. I never had a bankruptcy. That's another guy by the name of Don Crawford. Really? It hits home so hard where you lived, everything else, even Washington State also. Really? It was another one of you crawling around out there under a rock? No, it was you. It was you. Luda is a diabetic as well, very jealous of you. Boy, you guys know information. Tell you that. You get it better than I do. Sometimes. Oh, it's terrible being a diabetic. Boy, that's diabolical. Diabolical being a diabetic. It's diabolical. Because diabetes leads to all kinds of shit. You don't want to get that. Well, you don't want to get anything, but you don't want to get diabetes. I imagine he's also a fat fuck too, right? Well, here's a way, and I don't mean to be cruel. There's no freaking reason at all anybody should be fat. There's no reason at all. It's called mass consumption. No, it's not a Coneheads episode here. It's mass consumption, where they can't keep their mouth shut, either verbally or, in diet. Most Kiwis are, yeah. The whole world doesn't have a great diet. There, even in India, of all places, where people are very skinny, if not, skeletons. Been a big turnaround even in India. You're seeing more overweight people now in India. Of course, ever since, McDonald's and all these places have invaded the world. Everybody reveres McDonald's, Everybody knows McDonald's and places like that. It's these kind of joints that have destroying the lives of people, one person at a time. And that's a shame. Hey, I'm not saying I don't eat that shit. I do if I'm on the road or something, nothing open or something, and I'll have that. But no, as far as that making it a part of my diet, that would never happen. That would never happen. I wouldn't allow that to happen. I'm not saying you can't eat some junk food here and there, and I do, with limitations, great limitations, actually. Shit, I got a whole bag, well, a whole half a bag of, they're just small, but they're like Italian meatballs, frozen. They're already cooked, blah, blah, blah. But I did experiment with that, and how much fat and shit that comes out of it when it's cooking. And I refuse to touch it. Now, they don't care what they eat around the house here, and I don't stop them. I said to kids, hey, I got a half a bag of that stuff, make use of it. So they're going to have to make use of it because, I'm not eating it. They don't care, I do, I'm a lot older than them. I do care. As tasty as these little morsels are, I just won't eat them anymore. Even when I air fry them. I've done tests where I've actually boiled them. You could boil them, actually. Then cook them under an air fryer or whatever you want to do. And I've seen how much fat comes out on the tissue. It's amazing. And if you kind of microwave them, actually, in water, and you'll see all this oil floating to the surface. It's extreme. Yeah, I figured I could do without that. But that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy your life eating the things that you want. You could. I always say that. You got it. Everything is in moderation. I don't care what it is. Well, drinking, even in moderation, isn't good. Smoking, of course. Well, we know that. I know that. In moderation is not good either. Certain things don't apply, but I think with your diet, it all applies. Everything applies. Filipinos eat a basic diet of rice. Thank goodness they include fish. That's probably what's saving their lives, really. But, about white rice, carbs. There's simple carb complex, not complex like, brown rice or whole grain bread or, sweet potatoes, which are complex carbs, the kind that you want. But this is why so many Filipinos get sick and they develop diabetes. It's major out here. Oh my God. Diabetes is major. It's a shame. But you only have so much control. And you got to eat what's on the table. That's what it really comes down to out here. The beggars can't be choosers. You can't. Rice is life out here, literally, not figuratively. Rice is actually life, but you know what? They make it even harder for them to buy rice because rising prices and everything going on. Yeah. And if you ask me if I eat rice, I do eat some as an extender on a meal, as a filler. She might, maybe just making chicken for tonight, for tonight or something. And I was too lazy to go cook up a bunch of vegetables to go with. So if it's like a hurried dinner, just have some chicken, and then I break the chicken apart, mix it with the rice, to make it flavorful. That's all. Nothing complicated. But yeah, we do eat a lot of chicken around here, that's for sure. Chicken's not bad, but just, Yeah, I understand. The skin is one of the most tastiest parts on the sucker, but that's the way life is, right? The best flavorful things in life are the worst things to eat. I know, isn't it bizarre? But yeah, chicken skin is marvelous. Don't eat that chicks to go crap, man. That is the worst stuff. God damn, it tastes so horrible. What they think is great chicken out here. I like, like rosemary chicken. It makes it taste really good. There's a lot of things you could do with chicken to make it very palatable. But she makes it very well. No, I don't buy ready roasted chicken from these stores, because again, the handling of it, you don't know. No. They have, and I have eaten it, like Chicks to Go or someplace like that, but don't mean I trust it. But no, we'll buy a whole chicken, and when we say a whole chicken, it's like a joke, because the chickens out here, they sell them, they're like still babies. They haven't matured yet. It's like, they're producing this chicken, they want to get it out to the market and make money. They don't want to, and this is where my advertising concepts that I studied comes in. And what they do is, and Frank don't know anything about anything. He don't know about wound healing. He don't know about shit, but he's made it to almost 71. I don't know. I must be doing something right. But, Abel knows everything. That's that's why he's been so successful in his life and love and everything else. Where was I? The chicken. Okay. They don't sell full-size chickens out here. And every now and then they have a little bit larger chicken, and you refer to it locally as Big Bird. That sound like Tonto. Do you have Big Bird? Do you have Big Bird? They know what you're talking about. Big Bird? You say, Big Bird? Yeah, we got Big Bird. And because it also costs more to feed the chickens. I mean, believe me, Filipinos are big on profit. Oh, you got these people wrong when you think they don't know what they're doing and don't know mathematics. They're very big on economics. I don't care what your education is. They know money and they know how to make it. And that's a good thing. We're not knocking them. That's a good thing. Good business people. Absolutely. Wonderful business people. So they sell the smaller chickens because, well, they don't want to wait till they're full grown. They want to get them on the market and make money. And if they have to keep the chickens till adulthood and nice big old big birds, as they call them here, big birds, big birds, big birds, it's going to cost them more to feed the chickens. Smart, huh? That's good economics. Pretty clever, huh? They're clever people. Don't put Filipinos down for this and that. They're clever people. A lot of successful businesses making money, buying land, branching out, extending their businesses out into chain businesses. I mean, look at Julie's bread, Julie's Bakery. That's all they really said was bread. There's no real pastries there, nothing like that. But it's bread. And a lot of it is that sweet bread, which I can't even eat. We got a little bakery. Is it Julie's here? No, that's not the one. And they sell donuts, though. Really all encrusted with, with sugar on it. And they're really good. Okay? They're really good. But, well, deep fried. Everything's deep fried out here. Everything. Maybe it's a way of survival because you kill all the bacteria, hopefully, in the food that wasn't handled properly in the first place. So maybe deep frying is a solution to killing the bacteria. Again, they're smart with that too. Yeah, I've been here a long time. I've seen raw meat by the roadside and how long it's been there. They got a little fan, plastic fan going to shoo away the flies. Well, the flies may not be the worst of it. Who knows how it's been handled and the temperature of being out there. You can't keep pork and you can't keep chicken and things like that out 90 plus degree weather. The fan ain't going to do nothing. The flies have already hit it and probably laid eggs on it already. I don't want to gross you out so early. Well, it's morning here anyway. Morning, Gretchen. Morning to you, sir. Morning to you, sir. So we just started off here to kind of make it an embarrassment of Abo Man, who's an expert on wound healing. I already showed my wound. I'll show you it again. And a little white cap on there. That's for epithelial cells healing to make new skin. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at with Uncle Frank here. It's healing fine. It's healing fine. I decided to take the bandage off in time because I explained that you need a few days to cover it from any other bacteria. You need to keep it moist to help with wound healing, with new epithelial cells growing to create new skin. The body's a marvelous thing. You see like a little white cap on it. It's not pus. That's epithelial cells growing on the epidermis of the skin. And that's what you want. So yes, I have the bandage off now. But apparently Abo Man is also, among a lot of things, he's an expert on wounds. Believe me, I'm sure he's had plenty of them. How many skirmishes he got into his life that he didn't win. Probably ran away, tripped, and that's how he probably got his wounds. Let's see, Coin Society, yeah, the locals have enzymes that can fight bacteria that most tourists can't. Yeah, there's truth to that. They got cast iron stomachs out here. But they do succumb to a lot of gastrointestinal issues. They still do, but not as much as somebody who's a newborn coming out here, fresh expat meat, that don't have a clue. Yeah, I've had some scrapings while I was out. It's called an accident. I'm not that clumsy. I can be. Sometimes I'm not that clumsy. Did I show you the size of this fucking tile? Let me tell you something. I'm going to show you this puppy. This thing must weigh 30 pounds. It's one of those 60 by 60. It's over a ½ inch or 3/4 inch caging here where I keep the gasoline for the generator. Now this puppy was laying against, and I went to remove this from that. I don't know, it skid forward and then this sucker went down on my leg. And I want that slid down my shin. And I mean, ouch, ouch, ouch. Bonomo. And I immediately assisted. Oh, by the way, when you buy any new shirts, I ordered this from Manila. Well, from remember, it all comes out in the wash, folks. I ordered this from Lazada. It's kind of a red shirt. And you can see where the red dye is coming out, so you want to give it a good washing. And don't stick white socks in there or anything like that, or it'll become pink. There you go. Remember, it all comes out in the wash, and it sure has, I'll tell you that. My litter stick broke. This cup always comes off, so I modified it a little bit. I put a longer screw in it so that when we go after these little toads, it's going to stick them on there. Isn't that ingenious? My God. It absolutely is. Hello, sweetheart. You come to say hello to Daddy. That's how you treat a dog. That's how you treat an animal. With love and respect. And they respect you back. They will. She loves me to death, and I love her to death, too. That's my girls. It's my girl. That's my girl. She loves her daddy. Just loves her daddy. Loves the attention. She sure does. Okay. It's nice to be loved, right? Speaking of Abbo, he is getting really repetitive lately. Same old. Well, what do you expect? Everybody gets repetitive. They run out of things to say. They run out of insults. What was he going to say? He don't have much of a vocabulary anyway, so, I mean, you know, what do you expect? What do you expect from an Abbo? He doesn't seem very well educated. I'm not even sure he graduated high school. Number two. And there's my sweetheart, lady of the day. Hello, hello. How are you this morning? Are you fine? You're wonderful, you're fine?
Yes.
You certainly are. You're the best of the best. Creme de la creme, the cream of the crop, baby. Creme de la creme. She absolutely is. Oh, what a lucky man I am. Oh, what a lucky man I am. Okay. Now that we had our lesson in wounds. Wound heal. Oh, sorry about that. Not on this one, you're not. Gypsy made Jay look like he had a learning disability. Something recent, or... Yeah, he is repetitive. I mean, but then again, I see that all the time. When they run out of insults for you, they got to make up something. Boy, I'd say if I had to put in a booklet or something, every insult they called me, it would take up a couple of, definitely a couple. Invalid, of course. Way to make me. Abbo used to make me laugh posting his workouts. He has zero muscle definition. From what I could see, you're right. Regis says, about a week ago, Gypsy went up on Jay's panel. They had a conversation. It just makes Jay look like he lacked brain cells. Yeah, Gypsy seems to be pretty smart. Well, at least he's doing something, not just making money, but he's teaching English. He's doing something that's a good thing for the Chinese community or otherwise. I mean, he's teaching English. Jay still needs to learn proper English. You can't just get away with everything. I might, or bloody this, bloody that, whatever. Well, I don't know. I guess for somebody supposed to have so much money from Bitcoin, why is he working, digging ditches? I never dug ditches. I've done a lot of things, but I never dug ditches. Except, I helped bury one of my dogs, had to dig a hole, or planting trees or something in the parks. The parks department, yeah. I don't know why people make fun of that. My God, if Popeye could do that, it must be a real good job. Good Benny's, though, I gotta tell you. Call it what you want. Really. That was the best job I've ever had in my life, really. Shit. Drive alone independently. I get issued my own pickup truck. I want to make a stop somewhere. I stop. I stop in between routes. If I got to go to 7-Eleven to get something to drink or something, I do it. Had to go to the bank and withdraw money, you know, I'd do it. They didn't like you going out of district, though. Sometimes you were slightly out of your district. And the supervisor, how come you were seen at the bank? I said, well, it was my lunch hour. They were always trying to get something on me. Well, I said, it's my lunch hour. But you're out of district. Well, no, this is still north. I work for the North District and Northeast District, so, you know, suck it up. I had to do something. I had to do something. But you can't complain. The most beautiful parks in America, really. The most beautiful parks. If you've ever been to Seattle, despite the drugs, despite everything, they maintain the most beautiful parks in the country. And by no accident, there's people like myself that were doing good for society. It wasn't just a job. It's according how you look at it. Did you take pride in your position? It wasn't always pressure washing comfort rooms. I wore a lot of hats. Although I don't like to wear hats, but I wore a lot of hats. Everything from warehouse to you name it. Horticulture, all this shit. It was a learning experience. There was environmental things we worked in. We cleaned out streams to allow the flow for the salmon. We put boots on the ground. We put boots on. We clear fallen branches and debris in a little tributary in Seattle near some parks to allow the salmon to come through and not have any obstacles. We did a lot of great things. Yeah. Don C. the Elephant Simp says he has been to prison in Australia. You can't get an apartment lease. That's another reason to live with mommy, right? Region says Jay enjoys conversing with Havoc and Big Kevin because those guys are slow also. Yeah, Oh, sorry. I put the goddamn thing. I have a habit of doing that. My finger must have touched the screen. It's not you. I was saying that even frogs have more brains than Abbo. They know how to instinctively return. No matter how I gather them and throw them over the fence and hope they don't come back, they instinctively know how to hone in on their bird place and whatnot. They have that instinct. And they're good survivors. They go wherever it's damp, I don't care where it is, you'll find them there. So it might seem like a fruitless effort, but I don't feel like killing the frog. He would probably kill it. That's why I was good friends with Barry. You know Barry's idea about dogs. Chet, get away before I throw boiling water on you or throw a rock at you. This is how you can make a judgment on somebody, a real judgment. I've always used this. That's why I would never date a woman that don't like animals. And it's a good judgment call. If they treat animals like shit, well, that really defines the person. Then when they treat, women like shit too, that's a whole nother story. Which is predominant with assholes like him. Come on, women are all not hoes. Come on with that shit, really. Come on. Seriously? My goodness. They're hoes because you can't keep them. Because the way you treat them, the way you treat them makes all the difference in the world. Oh yeah, they're hoes. They're hoes because they don't want him. And couldn't see being in a genuine relationship with somebody like that. I understand. Oh, I hope I didn't open up the new almond milk without using the other one. I got no butter here. I always put a little bit of butter in this marvelous oatmeal full of fiber, some protein. Marvelous, like Marvelous Marvin. Well, like I said, I managed to live so far. I hit it again. All I got to do is touch this phone. Jeez. I'll keep my hands off that side of the phone. I was starting to say that I'm having my oatmeal, but usually I put a little dab of butter in there for taste, but I don't have any butter left this morning. Just a tad. This is basically just cinnamon, a tiny, tiny bit of salt, and some almond milk. And the blueberries are going to come secondary when I defrost them. Oatmeal becomes kind of purple, when you put blueberries in it. All the little children like mush. You remember that one. This is mush, but it's a healthy mush. I will not eat eggs every day. We got plenty of eggs. I will not eat eggs. Maybe not even so, but yeah. It's hard to know what to have for breakfast. Traditional American breakfast, you go out to a restaurant or at home. They're eating tons of fucking bacon, toast, 5 eggs at a time. They eat these big old, it's okay to eat an omelet now and then, but they have these big old omelets just super saturated with cheese, super saturated. But oh well. No, I'm on, the sound is on. I always reacted to your comment about James thinking he's cool. but I was muted. Mute him. Mute him. Remember that one? Oh, it ain't too bad. It really does need a touch of butter in here to really enjoy it. I can't eat a whole bowl of this. I waste a lot of it, to be honest with you. When you pour the oatmeal in a bowl, don't pour much because this thing expands. And that's exactly what happens when it hits your stomach. And what this does, it kind of scrapes out your arteries to help and absorb, things like cholesterol and so forth. So as far as the expert on wound healing, Frank's an idiot. You're supposed to let it air dry. No, not initially. No. Abo. You want to go Google it? Google it. Initially, you don't. You want to clean the wounds as best as you can, pat it dry, maybe put a little Baxdol on it. Or if you have any antibiotic cream, you want to put it on there right away. Cover it up. Because if you got an open wound, kind of like, you don't want to allow bacteria to get in like Fazio did. And that's what you got to do, and that's exactly what I did. I took off the bandage last night because it was ready. Not because he said you got to air dry it out. I know when to do it and why to do it. And that's fine. Oh yeah, now Frank's going to die of sepsis or something. Oh God. Well, he's going to die of something. But there's some things that are actually preventative. I don't know if you know, but Jay's sick all the time. He's always sick. He's got diarrhea of the mouth. Well, I could tell you a remedy for that too. Shut him up. Now, after how many bites of this stuff, now it's getting pretty bland. Boy, do I waste this stuff. I make too much to begin with. This stuff is so solid, it expands, and you start eating it, your tummy just fills up right away. Ugh. After so many bites full, it becomes so bland. Yeah. But it's not a bad way to start the day, actually. Regent says, Don C. the last few years has really shown how obsessed he is with you. Don C. comes off as very desperate. Oh, you've noticed, huh? I think we all have. And what do we have here? Oh, this is Ricky's thing here. I know Ricky hasn't rebutted this at all. Oh, he was sure blasting me with insults and stuff. And Gilda, too. Well, I told you, Ricky, I do go to SNR, and chances are I'm going to run into you again. It might be a different scenario. Just be prepared for it. Yeah, he was nurse's aide. Yeah, he cleaned toilet. He did all this stuff. Bedpans, emptying shitty bedpans, sticking catheters in men's penises, wiping people's asses, wiping the drool off of people's mouth. 5-star all the way. All the way. Oh, and Obama never did this, right? Oh, he did this quite a bit. As far as who's taller. Like I said, I wasn't standing on no platform at all on here. You just have to meet the guy to see how small he really is. He's a little runt. A little bald-headed runt. There you go. That's my height. And Hagante's really not that tall. What else? This was an initial letter from SVA. Class of 1980. Phone number, everything. But now I'm actually going to be getting an actual diploma. And what do we got here? What do we have? What do we have? I don't know. Anyway. Oh, there's some of the stuff anyway. Let's see, what else do I have here? What's this one? What is this one? Where are you? Oh, yeah. This is Barry's order to go to Bickerton. See at the top there, criminal case, not civil, criminal. Hereby ordered to transfer Barry Lee Jordan from the BI Cebu Detention Facility to BI Bickerton Detention Facility. There you go. There you go. Now he's in Bilibid. Oh, hell, I was watching another video on that. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oops. What am I missing here? Yeah, about 5'3" max. I would say around there. Ricky's address in Colorado was a little bungalow house, 3 people untitled, 5-star lifestyle. See? Everything comes out in the wash. How many times can I say that, man? It all comes out. Just give it some time. More and more information comes out about people. Is it our job to expose? No, it's not our job to expose people. But then, after a while, you say, okay, it's time to expose them. And man, they don't like it. Oh, man, they don't like it. Man, oh man alive, as Barry likes to say. Man, oh man alive. How much more can you expose Bummer? But there is more. There is more. Legal purposes, I'm not going to put anything out here on that for legal purposes. And for also Abo Man. But I'll get around to it to find a way to do it. Because Abo Man doesn't want to shut his mouth, so maybe I have to give him what he wants. Oh, he's done some horrible things, man. These are what you call fucking lowlifes. Real lowlifes. Defined lowlifes. In every fucking way possible. I don't know, a man about 50 years old has to live with his mom. I mean, that says it all right there. And very brave. He says, what do you do, Frank, and face to face with me? What are you going to tell me? What are you going to tell me when you go face to face? Not what I'm going to tell you, buddy. It's what I'm going to fucking do. Now, you did talk about my girlfriend. You did. You did. He made a lot of innuendos. He says he didn't, but he sure did. Well, it's like this. Who has a woman? Me or you, Abo? Think hard. I know it's hard. Be the bloke you are. Who has a woman? I do. And where are you? You live with your mom. Right? Says it all. And, Abo Man has to pay every time he goes to Cebu. He has to pay for his companionship. But all the women out here should have to pay for your companionship. I mean, God, there's so many Filipinos out here. There's got to be somebody you could mess with. But you see, when you got that kind of attitude he has, he looks down at women like there's some subspecies or something. That's why he can't keep a woman. Jay and Barry are about the same height. Jay is really a small man. Serious Napoleon complex. Yeah, it's a Napoleon complex. So they're going to say, well, somebody else is shorter than me. I'll prove it. Somebody else is shorter than me. There's got to be somebody out there shorter than me. Oh, let's say Frank is. Hey, I'm not a tall man, but shit, I tower over fucking Stillman. I'm sure of that. And over Barry. Yeah, of course. They've seen him over at TJF's, and people have met him. And those that went to visit him at his cell, well, obviously they'll see how small he is. Did you see how small he looked when Ricky or somebody came to visit him? Jeez Louise. It was so obvious on his height. That's short. Well, it's no sin being short. They just got the short end of the stick, that's all. Genetically. And it's quite possible that in a family unit, you could have people that are real tall. Like, don't forget, Barry has an uncle that's like 7.5 feet tall, right? Remember his uncle? My uncle's going to get you. He's over 7.5 feet tall. All the stories he told. You got to miss all those stories, really. And boy, he was a storyteller. There ain't no doubt about that. All the things he did, how tough he was, and getting into scraps and all this stuff. Well, why don't he just talk about how many people kicked his ass? That might be interesting. Yes, that is like little man complex. When people try to claim that they're a lot taller than they are. I've nothing to lie about. You can stand near me and see how tall I am. And people have. Ricky has, and a number of people. I'm no way as short as Barry. And you probably say, why is he talking about height again? Does he have a complex about his height, Frank? No. We're just getting the record straight. Because it pertains to the Abo Man, too. You got to make up for your height by trying to be that little vicious chihuahua. You ever notice that chihuahuas have the biggest bark? And they got to bite, too, though. Don't get me wrong. They're little fuckers. They can bite. But not as big as a pit bull. And when you got the small complex, even in the dog, they have to compensate for that with their mouth. And that's exactly what these guys do. They try to compensate it with their mouth. Imagine being 50 and bragging about your conquests and fights that you've been in. Is pathetic, Jay, pathetic. Well, why don't you tell us what happened with those fights? Did he win any? And how much shorter than him were they? How old were they? 12 years old? Speaking of 12-year-olds, we won't get into that. Maybe someday we will. We will. Oh, we will. I'm just letting him do the same thing that Barry did. I'm recording it. I'm listening to it. Making note of it. Oh, yeah. Out for the kill. He takes things for granted too much. The same theory. Nothing can happen to me. I live all the way in Australia with the kangaroos. Maybe a kangaroo fucking hit him in the head with those strong feet. They're strong, son of a bitches. Maybe he thought he was tough enough to get into a boxing match with a kangaroo or something. Who knows? He got the life punched out of him. Oh, Abo, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, man. I'm really not. I'm just telling it like it is, that's all. I know it hurts. Being small and living with your mummy. But man, I gotta tell you. If you gotta smoke, I guess smoke. I mean, I do. It's my bad, but to chain smoke like that, and the way you hold that cigarette, that says a whole lot about somebody's character. Oh, it certainly does. That ain't bullshit. That ain't bullshit. Effeminate. Feminine. No real man holds a cigarette that way if you smoke. I've never seen a man, unless he was gay, hold a cigarette that way. Never. I've been around a while. I've never seen that. Never seen that. Don C. Elephant Simp says, Don is embarrassed. We found out about the love for orphans and elephants. Maybe he was an orphan. There's nothing wrong with volunteering for an elephant sanctuary or something. But some of the jobs that come with it, you have to clean up their poop. He don't want to talk about that. He emphatically denies he had a bankruptcy. I got his whole fucking work history here. I just haven't got around to just format it to put on here. I'd have to copy it onto my other phone. I do everything differently than some people do. They have a little more talents technically than I do, I admit. But I get around to it, and I get the job done. Oh, now he's probably going to put on another show. The same, sounds like a Barry syndrome, right? Just the same thing, the back and forth. Frank says something about him. He'll say something about me. And it just goes on and on. Sounds like another whole Barry situation, doesn't it? Well, look at the results that happened with Barry there, Abbo. Maybe you'll learn from your buddies, from the lessons taught to him. Maybe you'll learn. But your days of visiting Cebu might be over before you know it. You don't know what I was doing while I was downtown. You have no idea. You think you might know why I went to Cebu for that day. You don't know what I was doing and who I was doing it for. You don't know. I'd rather keep it that way. Silence indeed is golden. That's why I did a short on here saying, silence is a lot more deadly, whatever. I forgot the title on there. When you just don't give all the information out. Why? Being stealth regarding information, I think is really important. I learned a lesson on that. You got to be stealth with certain things. That means you're in the background and you're watching. And you're taking notes. You're taking videos. You're doing all that stuff. This way you could present a nice, clean package to immigration. A clean package. On camera, the whole bit. That's what you got to do, and especially on camera. And I got plenty of stuff from old Abbo that's on camera. But remember he was saying just the other day, you ain't going to do shit. Well, Barry said that too. Your good buddy, remember? Barry said the same thing. You ain't going to do shit to me. So did Popeye. But, you come to the Philippines, Popeye doesn't. Big difference. As far as me not doing shit, well, time remains to tell the story. That's what I say. Time will tell. Well, Barry never expected to get into that situation, did he? So let that be a lesson learned, Abbo, man. You don't know my capabilities. You really don't understand my determination. I may forget a few things here and there, but the one thing I don't forget are the key people that have said horrible things about me or my girlfriend. Oh, yeah. Nothing wrong with my memory there. It stays right in there. And what I do behind the scenes is totally what I'm doing behind the scenes. Nobody will know about it, certainly not them. Don is embarrassed. We found it, yeah. And what's he got to hide? I at least put my woman on camera now and then. What has he got to hide? I don't even know what their relationship is, really. A lot of people, they'll talk about their family. I know they say don't be too personal about anything with your family. I would agree with you to a certain point on that. But, he's never really exposed his so-called happiness with his partner, wife, whatever she is. He's never done that. Hey, I got nothing to hide. She's a lovely woman. Great woman. If I want to have her on camera at certain points, I'll have her on camera. I got nothing to be embarrassed about in my situation. Elephant Simp says, I think Don has barbecues for the little street beggars at the house. Well, I do come on YouTube a lot, and certainly this past few months certainly have. But the availability, like when he knows I'm doing a show that he comes on, he'll drop everything. He might be in the middle of sex if he's still able to have sex. Oh, wait a minute. Frank's on. I got to go listen to this. Sorry, honey. Next time, I got to take notes. How pathetic is that? My barbecue's better than yours. Boy, we heard that with John Blaze and people like that. I got the grand poobah of barbecues. When the fact is, he went to Walmart. You got the cheapest fucking thing there you got. He's been real quiet because, you see, Blaze has been pretty quiet because there's been things happening with his Filipina that he didn't want to disclose and come on a show about. And we don't even know if he's together with her, but I know one thing is that I followed what he was saying, that his wife made all these Filipino connections there and spending all her time with these newfound friends out there, which is fantastic for her. Good for her. Good for her. But he feels left out because he said that he's not working anymore. He's probably going through whatever money he had. Oh, she demands Filipino food. She wants this. She wants that. Shopping sprees. Money only lasts so long. I'm sure it's a big regret. I told you, don't Americanize your woman. Don't. But don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. I don't know any better. I don't know about wound healing either. No, I guess I don't. It's looking fine. Thank you, Abo Man. Now the expert on first aid and whatnot. Yeah, you probably needed first aid. How many times you got into some scuffle or something with somebody by opening your mouth? Jay, let me tell you something. Address you by name. And you are an Abo Man, by the way. Understand something. You get back in life what you put out. And you could hide behind your phone all you want. And it just comes down to this. When you come to Cebu, if you're really brave enough to actually meet me, it's an open invitation. It always has been. And I stated that. You're not going to do it, though. You're too unsure about me is what it is. Well, maybe old Frank, maybe he's got something in him. He could do some damage to me. That's right. It's the mystery of life. You just never know until you try it, Abo. Talk is cheap, man. Talk is cheap. Nobody's come to my place. Everybody knows where I live. There's a lot of trolls. Nobody's come by this place. Other than, Fazio when he passed by one time. And of course, Jay came over here to stalk her, Always getting laid now in South Korea. And I think his girlfriend knows him enough to know that's probably what he's going to do. Well, maybe it's an open relationship. If you've got an open relationship, that's fine. Yeah, but see, the problem with that is with open relationships is you don't know if the chick has disease or something, and then you got to bring it home to your partner and have sex with her. No, that's wrong. I think that's really wrong. In every way. Have some respect. She's a mother of your child, Have some respect. Maybe that's the problem. He doesn't get no respect at all. No respect at all. Well, why don't you get a lot of respect? True? Because you got to earn respect. I say it time and time again. You have to earn respect to get it back. And that pertains to family members. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Friends, peers, whoever's you're in a relationship with. Respect demands respect. Okay? But they get respect. Yeah. Simple as that. It's nothing hard to figure out. You make new friends, if that's what you want, out here by respecting other people. Now, me, I never came out here to make foreign friends. That was never my goal. If I wanted that, I would have just stayed where I was. That's all. Oh, I know a few foreigners out here I talk to, especially my neighbor. He's pretty cool. He's an Australian guy, in fact. He's an Australian guy. But he's a respectable Aussie. He's a respectable man. Very respectable. Simple man. Respectable. Minds his business. Enjoys having me over talking. He's home all day like most, like most foreigners. Taking care of his kid. It's not his biological kid, but taking care of her. It didn't matter that it wasn't his blood. He still respects. The child loves him to death. Loves him to death. As if it was her real biological father. I love seeing that. It's the way it should be. As well, I get that respect over here. If I didn't get respect for any of her family members, I wouldn't bother with them. Or I would just voice it out and say, hey, what's with this or what's with that? I never had to do that. Lucky me, I guess. Oh, I think we're expecting a high percentage chance of big thunderstorms today. So far, it's just cloudy, overcast. I think we'll have another rainy day today. It's a rainy day in Georgia. Georgia on my mind. Hey, Free Willy, Free Willy. Free Willy. Free Barry, Free Barry. Like I said, I don't mind. Yeah, he did serve his time. You know, it's the same thing as a sentence to me. I don't give a shit. Even though the judge didn't sentence him to that, but that's not the way it was worked. And no, we didn't just give in. No, we decided on that. It didn't have to do with running out of money and having to pay every time our lawyer goes there. It had nothing to do with that at all. We just wanted to come to a conclusion. It'd be one less thing I have to deal with. That's all it was. And we knew that he was eventually going to plead guilty once he had his lawyer. And like my lawyer said, as it turned out, it was the worst thing he did because now he's officially a convicted felon. Yeah, he has that entitlement. Even though the judge didn't sentence him to prison, it doesn't matter. He's in prison. Who expected that? A gift from the gods, maybe. I don't know. No, you're right. I have no compassion for him at all. And why should I have any compassion for Barry Lee Jordan? Why should I? I've got a good heart, let me tell you. My ticker's good. My emotions good. My feelings are wonderful. But, you know, right is right and wrong is wrong. He was wrong in every way. He continually decided to be wrong because he was too cocky for his own good. Now, look what he's going to go through. How long has it been now? He's been incarcerated 2 years, almost exactly, in Mandawi, and about a month in Bikitan, and now we're on, what is it now? Clue me in, second week or something or so of Bilibid? I lost track. I mean, I don't exactly put this on a calendar, okay? Always enjoying himself. He's a very sociable guy. I'm sure he made lots of good friends in there. Can you see him trying to lift weights? With the help of who? Well, Vitali, I don't know. Supposedly he's still in Bikitan, in isolation or something. I don't know. I guess he winds up in Billy Bid. And maybe he's a very well-developed man. Maybe he could teach old Barry boy how to lift weights properly or whatever, and turn all that flub into just massive, massive muscle, massive muscle. If he doesn't croak in the process of doing it. Well, let's not get off the subject of Abo Man, the amazing, incredible Abo Man. Abo, let me tell you something, straight up front. There's nothing you can say about me that's going to kind of get to me, really. I have a good memory, though. I keep it in storage like a video card. It's there. Everything's there. I don't forget what you say. I never will. And one day I'll confront you on that. Because you might be in Cebu the same time I'm at. If I know you're in Cebu, and I know where you're going to hang out, because you're going to wind up in the bars somewhere, right? Oh, you know you're going to wind up in the bars. You'll try to get together with Ricky or somebody, and I'll know where to find you. What would you do if I walked in that bar? What would you do? Try to impress Ricky or anybody else? What would you do? What would you seriously do? Answer that question. I think you'd piss your fucking bloody pants is what I think you'd do. That's what I think. Don't expect Ricky or anybody to help you out either, because they're not going to get involved. I'll guarantee you that. You're on your own. Just like Ricky was on his own when Mick Fisher came by. Of course, Brevis, he was locked and loaded. Yeah, after Mick Fisher went away. Brevis was locked and loaded to go. Why didn't he have that bullet in the chamber at the time? Good question. Because he's probably going to piss his own pants. Mick Fisher's a good-sized guy, I'll tell you that. I met him. He's a good-sized guy. And Brevis wouldn't have had a chance. I wish someone would post the audio of Jay pleading with the trolls to stop. Yeah, I don't have that. Well, I might have had it on my computer, but I have to see if it's in the hard drive. I don't know. I don't know. Somebody out there and send it to my email, frankenhawaii54@yahoo.com. That's my social media address. Although I might be changing that soon, but well, I have a regular address. I don't give that as a Gmail address. The only thing I give out is that one. If anybody out there has that video, anyone, I don't care, go into a sock account name when you write me or something, I don't care. That video, please stop, stop. Oh, Jay, that was embarrassing. I've never gotten to that point on anything in my life. Stop, stop, I can't take it anymore. Yeah, that was rich. That was great. Look at Barry Region says everyone abandoned him. Apparently so. They don't want to be associated with him. That means he's going to stay where he is a lot longer. And I'll be honest, I don't know the rules. I don't know legally how long they could keep him in there. He could be part of the unforgotten and be in there for a long time. But he'll adjust to it. He spent 2 years in Mandalay, but that was that was like at least a Motel 6 situation, which was, that bad for all the conveniences, all that stuff. But it's just a different kind of atmosphere, And if I was put in a facility like that, I'd know how I'd behave. You'd be respectable. Oh, I know it. And they'll like you. I remember I had a day and a half in a county in Washington State in Seattle, having to do with speaking out of line in court. I had to do with my landlord. Landlord, yes. Didn't want to give my deposit back. So I had a day and a half. And as little as it was, that's what the big criminal I am. That's a big criminal. Yeah. I'm a major criminal. I knew in that stuffed little cell, I knew the rules without even ever been in jail at all. They allowed you to smoke at that time in jail. They did a long time. They didn't allow you to do that. Lucky I had a full pack, and I came in there when I smoked. Some of these big bruisers, whatever, come up to me. Hey, you got a small for me? They called, your leftover cigarette smalls. After you smoked it, there was some left on it. Oh, sure, man. I just gave them a whole cigarette. And they appreciated that. That's what you got to do. You don't create waves and tension in a jail cell. You got a bunch of people in there. This is just a county jail downtown, that's all. If you pissed off a judge or something or whatever, spoke out of line or something, they want to reprimand you by putting you a day or two in a jail cell, as they put it, to cool your heels. Cool your heels. And I tell you, I learned in that little short period of time, and I seen this one guy get punched out over a phone call. They have a phone outside of little jail cell bars. You can make calls out. And this big black dude, Big Bubba, he was on the phone too long, and this little wimp guy who had a lame arm for some reason. I don't know what the story was. I don't know. Paralysis of an arm or something. He was bitching and whining about Big Bubba using the phone too long. And he kept on doing it till Big Bubba had no choice but to cold cock him right in the cell. I saw that. You got to know how to act. And thank goodness I'm not an expert on jail. I led a clean life. Clean life. Biggest crimes, seatbelt violations, things like that. Because I obeyed the law. The law. I don't have anything criminal against me at all. A civil case, yeah. It's not criminal. End of story on that. Regis says Jay was having a nervous breakdown in that video. He was literally crying. Yeah, I remember it. I think a lot of people remember it. How could you forget something like that? What do you have to say about that, Abo man? Are you going to deny? Are you on camera just crying like that? Like a bye-bye? Like a little bye-bye? Can't live that one down, old Abo. Got to write a song called Abo Man. Maybe I'll just work on some lyrics. Find a good beat or something. Find something on the phone as a background. Go by that. Put some lyrics to it about the famous Abo Man of Australia. Yeah, well, he seemed like he was having a nervous breakdown. Well, yeah, he was actually. That's what it was. You see, Abo Man is real. One thing I noticed, he's really sensitive. Oh, is he sensitive? When he said, and I understand when they were, attacking the death of his father, which I have not attacked. I don't go that low. No, 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 no. It really hit a nerve with him. And it was wrong what they did. I will tell you right up front. That was very wrong. Very wrong. Shouldn't attack somebody's dead parents, things like that, loved ones, etc., 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 etc. But he reacted. It doesn't take much to it, especially when he's drinking. But then again, he's drinking all the time, so it's hard to tell. Sober or drunk, it's all the same with him. It's the same behavior. I assume he's just drinking all the time to hide his sorrows and all that. And that's why people drink a lot. They're trying to hide something. They're trying to mask their emotions. Life has not been good to Abo Man at all. Jay is easy to trigger. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What exactly did they do? I assume this was many years ago. What is your reference at? What did they do? Oh, Aloe, the whole crew, and all those people, Popeye, they were making skits and everything about Jay's father who passed away. They did some skit with the coffin going up the stairs and it opens up and falls. So they did some really horrible shit. And boy, Abo Man was just besides himself, His reactions were really rich, I can understand him being upset about that. Absolutely, of course. He has a right to be upset about that, but he just lost it. They do some horrible things on here, man. You haven't heard it all. You haven't been around that long, I think. You have no idea what some of these guys have done to people on here. Shit, I pissed Roberto off, man. I got his goat, let me tell you, easily. Had cops come by to his abode, his home in Texas a couple of times. Embarrassed him in front of his family and the neighbors because he wouldn't shut his mouth. I said, this guy's doing cyber libel on there. You need to educate this guy. He's committing a crime. Well, they had to go over there, not once, but twice. And he was pissed. Oh, he was pissed. Made the family wonder, what exactly are you doing, Roberto, on the computer when we're not around you? His wife probably got on his ass. I don't even think they're together. I think they've been gone for a long time. One lives in Dallas and the other one lives elsewhere, and more on the coast. I have the actual address, everything. Of course I do. How did you think I got the police to go over there? I work in many different ways with people. Get even doesn't mean beating the shit out of somebody. There's other things you can do. This had to have been a, yeah, it has. Mm-hmm. Oh, God. We the characters. I mean, Roberto, oh, my God. He actually threatened Gilda, threatened physical harm on me and her. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I told you, man, I don't forget these kind of things. There's certain things I will never forget. And if I come across somebody, I will remember it. What did they say about my girlfriend that was not proper? What did they say about me was not proper? How far did it go? I think about all this stuff. That doesn't go away. I know what people said about me, and if I come in, I told you, Ricky was running his mouth the other day, big time about me. And he did knock Gilda, actually. I told you, Ricky gets himself into trouble. And his biggest worry is staying alive, not from getting the shit beat out of him for somebody, but I think, just nature in itself, he's not healthy. Everybody, everything comes out in the wash. Came out with Fazio, he's dead. Ricky's not the healthiest person on this genre. I guarantee you that. Big time. Big time. His time's going to come, and it'll be all over for him, too. You never hear another insult from his mouth. He'll be gone forever like Fazio. Bye-bye, is all I can say. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. But, Abbo, man, I'm more than sure, even on the job, he probably had confrontations with workers. Just digging ditches. If he's so rich from Bitcoin, why does he have to work? I don't get that part. And I wouldn't take a gamble on shit like Bitcoin anyway. You know, if I had to put big money into something that it's gambling, no matter what it is. You can speculate all you want. He went broke a few times, as I remember. Remember they were talking about it on YouTube. He lost a lot of money. Do I believe that he does Bitcoin? Yes, I do believe he does Bitcoin. He's an amateur. Tries to act like a professional, but he lost a lot of money on Bitcoin in the past. Shit, they had a whole show the other day that bored the shit out of people. After he got tired of of knocking me or anything else, the conversation went into investments and all that shit. Then what is he doing living with his mom? The guy should at least own a condo in the Philippines. He likes to come to the Philippines. He should at least own a goddamn condo here. He would have to pay. Well, he has to pay certain fees every month, but maybe he didn't want to do that. It's a good base of operations for all these young ladies that he likes to entertain. He'd have a good base for it. Right in the middle of Cebu. What happened to Roberto is kind of hard to say. I had my own thoughts about that. Because nothing stops Roberto from putting on a show or occasionally knocking me. Yeah, I don't know. It could be health issues. I don't know. Maybe they had a divorce, him and the wife, or maybe, I don't know. Maybe it has to do with the gastric bypass he had a long time ago that went sour. Maybe he's dead. Some people said that he was getting Alzheimer's disease or something. I don't know. I cannot definitively tell you. And I can make up a story like a lot of trolls do, but I just tell facts as they are. And the fact is, I do not definitively know what happened to him, but obviously something did. Because there's no way in the world all this time he wouldn't have been on trying to attack me or something. There's no way in the world. Something did go down. I just don't know what it is. Whether it's health-wise, social, I have no idea. Mental, maybe had a breakdown. I don't know. That's my answer to that. But I could be like a troll and I could make up some shit that'll satisfy you. But I really can't do that. People have said this and that to me, but, with no proof, there you go, it's that famous word, proof, then you can't really say what happened. It seems like all the wisecrackers with me are dead. Ed Lippett, Fazio, Fazio's groupies, what was his name that died? What's his freaking name? See, as time goes by, these people become forgotten. But yeah, one of his major groupies passed away. But like I said, and I'll say it again, I can make a pretty good judgment on the longevity of somebody basically by their lifestyle. You don't need any special training. You don't need just common sense. And Ricky is, he can mouth off all he wants, but the ace in the hole I have with him is that I'm healthier than he is. And I'm older too, by 10 years or whatever. And he's not in good shape. So I don't care what Ricky says about me, but sooner or later he's going to have to confront me in SNR because he goes there all the time. All the time. That's where I do my shopping. One of the places anyway. I go to a couple, but I said this time I see him in there, it's going to be different. I'm not going to run up and attack him. I will approach him. I absolutely will. And I'll lay the law down right then and there, like I did last time, but hopefully to get him to swing at me or something. That's my aim. Try to swing at me or something. Get him riled enough like Fazio got him riled up. He'll be back in jail again. And he did go to jail for Fazio, even though it was 4 days, but he paid off the officials to get out of there. So in a sense, Fazio won. He did get Ricky to go to jail. He did. And it was wrong what he did. And people were talking about, well, Frank thought it was wrong what he did, but he was happy that it happened. Well, yeah, it's the truth. It was wrong the way Ricky went about it. Fazio was an older man in really bad shape. That's what a coward does, to go smack somebody that's an old man in bad shape. And Fazio was in bad shape. He couldn't defend himself if he tried. He could have tried to took one of his electric tools and cut his arm off or something, but it takes time to go grab the tool, and you have to have somewhere to plug it in. He could have took a board with a rusty nail in it, but he didn't do anything. Yeah, it was wrong, but it doesn't mean I didn't have any pleasure from it. Because boy, if anybody needed to be smacked, that was Fazio. That was Fazio. Johnny Thunder, Johnny Warrior. Actually, Johnny Warrior passed away. He was not an advocate of mine. I've been threatened by Johnny Warrior. He's dead. Ed Lippett's dead. Fazio's dead. What's his name? That used to be supporting Fazio on his channel all the time is dead. He was an enemy, a nemesis. They're all dropping like flies. Who's next? Well, I made my predictions, and I do think it's going to be Ricky. Yeah. He knows it. Only he knows what's going on with his body. He's talked about it enough, different things, to know what's going on with him. So, with his consistent weight, it's not good. And how long he's been carrying the weight. But then someone said Big Kevin is definitely on the list. There's no doubt about that. One of the reasons, he could even be on the top of the list. Maybe not Ricky, because try to understand something. When you've been overweight and you weigh a half a fucking ton, well, it's not a half a ton, it's 500 pounds. Yeah, he weighed close to 500 pounds. And you've been carrying that weight around in your heart for all those years. It causes damage. Oh, it does. It does. It took toll on his knees, everything. He had blood pressure, disc problems. He had disc problems, probably on diabetic pills. I'm sure he's still on medicine, though he claims he... Oh, Dad, I'm not taking anything. While we're at it, let's get a little jingle in my pocket here. What a pathetic soul. Pathetic. What is he going to accomplish in Thailand that he didn't accomplish before? What was he expecting to get accomplished when he went to Vietnam? Nothing. And he never did. They didn't accomplish there. He goes back to Thailand expecting, what is the definition of insanity? Well, you know what the definition of insanity is. And he's actually proved that. Back and forth. It's not going to change anything. It's the person that needs to be changed. It's not the geography. It's the person that needs to be changed. Regent says, I wonder what happened to... Okay, I saw that already. I'm not going to be on here much longer. Geez, I couldn't believe how long it was on yesterday. Almost 2.5 hours or something. I'm not going to do that this morning. I got to do my Jane Fonda workout. My Jane Fonda workout. Jane Fonda workout. Well, I don't know, man. It works for her. I think it's working for me. No, I'm not going to be a huge husky man with muscles popping out at every angle. I don't see that ever happening. It could if I was really gung-ho about it, but I don't have a big gym here, nothing. I got limited things to work with here, and I utilize what I got, because I really don't have enough room in there to get a bench shed or something in there. I just ain't got the room. If it was a little bigger in that room, I could do something like that, but you don't need to. You can work at an individual weight. And they laugh about that, but, laugh at yourselves. Look at all the videos on there with somebody working with a dumbbell. There's a million of them. If you Google it, a video, or whatever. There's a million people doing that. You got to see how they built up at any age. The results are going to be how much you put into it, though. That's the whole thing. Yeah, I gained a little bit of muscle, not much, but it's noticeable to me, and that's all that matters. it's rather a better thing to do than to sit on your ass all fucking day. And I believe me, I don't sit on my ass all fucking day. Like I said, I'm pretty hyper. I don't do that. I couldn't do it. I'd keep busy. If I was ever in a jail cell, I'd be working out. I'd be doing push-ups. I'd be doing all kinds of shit. Because it helps your mind also, you know. And I'm not isolated in this house. I can go wherever the hell I want. Except out of the country at the moment. But I wasn't planning on going anywhere anyway, so it all works out. Remember, it all comes out in the wash, and this whole situation will come out in the wash. It will. One way or another. We don't need to talk about that anymore. Yeah. In fact, we don't even need to talk about Barry anymore. Unless you get him out. Give something to talk about. But he's going to be in there for a while. And yeah, I would have to agree with my viewers. I don't sort of think anybody's really helping him out. I mean, I wouldn't know for sure. I have no way of telling that. I'm thinking not. Because even the trolls that are against me, they know what Barry's done. And they know how Barry has talked to them before. Called them every name in the book, too. Who hasn't he called a bunch of names? He even called them fucking pedophiles, too, a lot of them. Popeye and the others. Every time he get mad at somebody, he call him a pedophile. Well, they say the apple don't fall far from the tree. The guy was, after all, abused sexually by his daddy. I've written a letter to Daddy. I hope to receive one also soon. But I keep writing letters to Daddy while I'm sitting looking at that moon. Nah, I don't think anybody wants to help him out, and for good reason. I think he's on his own. But hey. Either way, it works for me, and you know why it works for me. You know why? The dude has a depth to pay to me. $250K. $250K. That's not scratch money in the Philippines. That's good money. Look how long a Filipino has to work doing $250K, man. It's significant. It certainly is. But that's just me. And there's the court. He has to owe the court and his lawyer and the immigration fees, everything else that he accrued. Almost 7 years. And he's got quite a challenge there. So will he be there as long as he was in Mandawi detention? I don't know. I just don't know what the rules are. I should look it up. How long can they keep him in there? Maybe there's a limit on how long they could keep him in there under the circumstance, but I don't think so because, it's a court order. It's a court order. And the government is not going to let you get away without paying. Government survives on fees like this, penalties and all that shit. They're not going to say, oh, you've been a good boy. You've been a good boy. Oh, good boy, buddy. You've been a good boy. We're going to just let you go home since we got a summary deportation for you. How does that sound, buddy? Does that sound good, buddy? Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hilk. I'm ready to go. I've been ready to go. Get me out of this motherfucking place. Okay. Morning, Philippines. Previous mentioned that he was also molested as a child. Yeah, somebody brought that up. Was it you before? See, they all got this checkered past, man. What have I been saying every fucking show? Don C with his bankruptcies and God knows whatever else. Every one of them. All got some checkered past. Philippines said, LOL breadstick, saying he's afraid to go to Thailand because he might start smoking weed again was pathetic. Oh, that's an excuse. He said he likes smoking weed, so, if that's what he likes doing, why not? Well, you got to have money to buy it, first of all. It's one thing to be in Thailand. It's one thing to buy any weed out there. Oh, I don't care about being in Thailand. I don't smoke weed. I really don't think that's a place I'd want to go to anyway. I've seen enough videos on Thailand. I'm not really that impressed. Oh, they do have some beautiful beaches there, though. They actually do. I call the good thing good when I see it. They do have some lovely beaches there. They do. But life is just not a beach, Life is not a beach after all. Anyway, with that being said, I gotta finish some other stuff. I might need more of a protein to eat. I had my cereal, but I gotta go defrost some of my blueberries. I love the way they laugh about my blueberries. Maybe I know something they don't. Anthracyanin, was it anthracyans in there, if I'm pronouncing it right, that's in blueberries. Maybe I know something they don't know. Why am I so gung-ho about it? In fact, I just got he fucked me over again. Remember I was talking about Lasada? I ordered this fair good size of blueberry extract. Yeah. They sent me this tiny little fucking bottle. I don't know what I paid for that. Well, like 30 tablets stuck in there. It's a little bottle. It's not what I ordered. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I do go through Lasada. There is some problems with Lasada. There actually is. But it's not a bad company to deal with. And some things you can almost get the next day. I remember I've ordered a vitamin or some shit like that. And within a day and a half or something, there was a delivery guy. I said, what the fuck is that? I just ordered it like the other day. So if it comes out of Manila, yeah, they can get it to you. If it comes out of Manila. Other than that, yeah. Breadstick smokes weed. Bummer sucks decks. Deeks. I didn't say anything. I didn't say a word. I'm not going to. Their sexual preferences and sexual deviancy is their business. And boy, there was a lot of that going on between Barry and his friend. Oh, there sure was. I know some things people don't know. And Aboman's been pushing me toward it. He's getting real close. When you hear some things, I'll tell you. I'm not ready to say it yet. And unfortunately, you're just going to have to take my word on it. My word is my word. That these things went down big time. That guy should be behind bars. Believe me when I tell you, Aboman should be behind bars again or whatever. He should be. He would not last in prison. He'd be crying like a bye-bye. Please stop. Stop. I can't take it anymore. Stop. Stop. So if anybody has that recording out there, because I can't find it. Oh, it exists. And I know everybody has a whole, system of recording people for some of their best stuff. They have a lot of recordings. A big dossier. Please do send it to me. Go into sock, whatever you want to do. There's sock account names and they do phony names that email me anyway. I have no idea who you are, so yeah. Feel free to do so. Does he? I got to, MJ, if you're listening, why don't you put that on your show? I could do that easier. Just, MJ, I lost your email address. Yeah. So if you're hearing this, MJ, find that video of Abo Man when he was having a nervous breakdown. I can't stand it. Oh, no, stop it. Stop it, please. You must have it. He's right. You must have it. You must have it. Oh, he's on here? Well, I'm reaching out right now. I'd like you to play that actually on your show. Can you do that? If you really can't, just send it to my email. Frank in Hawaii 54. Yeah, we used to talk at yahoo.com. Here's BK crying too. Yeah, BK. Oh, man. I remember everything about it. He's Belgian, right? Right. God, the women were using him left and right. He was sending him jewelry, all kinds of shit. So desperate some of these people are. I understand that BJ has a woman in his life now or something. I don't know how he accomplished that. He must have gave up his whole fortune to keep her around. All right, so MJ, I'm going to assume that you're going to do a show with that on, or you will email me the video somehow, and I'll just record it on the other phone and back and forth or whatever. We got to see that. We got to see that. It's a must. It's a must. And you tell me, folks, whether he had a nervous breakdown or not. You tell me whether or not this guy is really sensitive and very prone to things like this because feels so belittled in his life, both, you know, aerodynamically or, or height challenge and whatever. Okay. I got to go, guys. Jay, put that up on your show. Not Jay, MJ. Put that up on your show or send me it and I'll get it to my faithful viewers. Rumor has he has a seizure video too. Do you have the seizure video too, MJ? Just give me what you got, man. Let's prove this guy wrong and what an asshole he is. What a sensitive soul he is. I don't want to get cruel about this, but, he said some shitty things, man. Not respecting me, he's not going to get any respect back. Okay. Well, MJ, if you're getting this, do a show showing this. I think you have the capability of putting some show on screen, don't you? That would be the best way. That'll be the best way. Or if you really can't, just send me an email with an attachment or something on it that I could open up real easy. That's my show. Bonomo, ready to go. Face a new day. New days, new challenges. Every day is a new life, my friends. Every single day is a precious new life. Yes, indeed. Well, you know how I say everybody's got a history on here. Why am I always right? Okay. Well. Usually am. Let me see, what have I got here? No, that's something else. Okay. All right. I always hate this. Okay, wait for people to show up here. I don't know. I just got a little communique regarding Roberto. And supposedly he's in bed with Alzheimer's or something. That's what was told to me. Whatever. Interesting background. And his barbecue brothers business, he's no longer part of. His license even expired in April of this year. I don't know. Somebody wrote me, said that he's bedridden with Alzheimer's, whether that's true or not. And he was working as, I don't know, part of the freaking the job he had in his was varied. He did work for the Coast Guard, but he was basically a security guard. Yeah. Then he started a business that didn't last. It was called Conquistador Limited. Conquistador Services. And that didn't last very long. He had a bankruptcy, but it was dismissed. So I guess he tried to get a bankruptcy, but it was actually dismissed. And all the information on the report line up. I know over in Fairfield, where he lived actually in Texas, that's all correct. It's the same Robert G. Dunn, Robert Gunnar Dunn. That's him. At some point, it mentioned age 48 on there. At some point, he's got to be older than 48. And if he had Alzheimer's, I'd say that's pretty rare. But no, he's more than 48 years old, isn't he? He's got to be more than 48 years old. Yeah, apparently. I've seen the price, the house he owned. Apparently his wife might have come from Utah. They had property. His wife did. His business was out of his area, right in his area in Texas, not in Dallas. He just basically worked as a security guard, I think, for the Coast Guard or something. I got the sheet here, but I can't do screen sharing on here, or I'd show you it. I told you, everybody's got a background on here, and I'm proving it all the time. Try to do a bankruptcy. They'll talk about Frank get a bankruptcy. Well, everybody else is trying to get a bankruptcy or had a bankruptcy. So fucking what? Why are they lying about it? I know everybody wants to look bigger than they are. You got to understand, he was always pretty docile. He had office. Well, a lot of his jobs were not very. To go fishing and boating and stuff like that. That's the most activity he's ever had. That's true. Had a little boat. Used to go on with his friends. It was nothing fancy. And it said here that he's still registered to have a Chevy Cavalier. I thought he had this nice truck or something. It says Chevy Cavalier. Chevy Cavalier. I'm not lying about this. Chevy Cavalier. Imagine that. A Cavalier? You got to be pretty stoked broke to have that. Cavalier. But I don't know. Somebody basically wrote me and they said that supposedly, and I can't put this out as, I mean, the information he sent me didn't say anything about his medical stuff. It was just an email that gave me the link to his profile, who he's married to, where he's living, the address, that there was attempted bankruptcy, but they dismissed it, owned a Chevy Cavalier, and didn't even mention the Coast Guard, but it's got to be in there. And he had a license for his barbecue business actually expired in April of this year, last month. So my understanding is that he had some failed businesses, conquistador services, logistics, some kind of a logistics firm or something like that. Does it sound like I'm making this shit up? I'm not making this shit up. Where do I come up with this information? I told you, people write me. And sometimes they're bullshit and sometimes they're real, but the profile of him was real. His name, his wife's name, the whole bit. The address in Texas, that was all correct, because I already know it. Believe me, I know it. But the person who wrote me basically said that he has Alzheimer's. And how old is he anyway, Roberto? I've seen an age on there pertaining to something that said 48, but he's got to be more than 48. And I never really hear of anybody age 48 or so getting Alzheimer's. I just don't hear that. I don't know what the validity of that is as far as an age. Maybe that does happen, but I don't know. You got to understand, he was always very plumpy. He was fat, okay. And that's why he had to have a gastric bypass and to eliminate that. But then he starts this taco business, with his brother. Something Brothers Taco. Something Brothers Taco. I don't have it in front of me. Something Brothers Tacos. There's my 13 on here. Boy, I'll tell you, it's 13 real believers of my show. So apparently, he's another one with a checkered past. Businesses has failed. He was a glorified security guard like Popeye. That's all Popeye was. He was a glorified security guard with the Navy. Apparently, so was him, Roberto Gunnar. Done. Yeah. I'm not making this shit up, man. I have no reason to make it up. It's all there on the paper. I keep all this stuff. I make screenshots of it, so if nobody believes me, if I have to really push it, I'll show you all that. I can't do a split screen on here. I wouldn't know how anyway. Maybe on the desktop I would have been able to, but I don't use the desktop. It's kind of messed up a bit. So what's the point? Well, no. Gambone? No. Roberto Gunnard Dunn, D-U-N. G-U-N-N-A-R-D, Gunnard, G-U-N-N-A-R-D, Dunn, D-U-N-N. That would be correct. No, we got caught. Gamboni. No, I don't know where you got that. So there you go. Everybody has a past on here, and they go attack me, and they try to find fault with me, but every single one of these fucking trolls on here, I proved it already. I don't always like being right all the time, but I seem to be right all the time. And they hate it. They just fucking hate it. They deplore it, let's put it that way. So, I don't know. I've heard this thing about Alzheimer's before. So there might be an element of truth to why he had to, you know, he let his license expire. His license, the business with his brother selling the tacos. That would make sense to me. And I don't know, someone said that he's bedridden. And they made a joke about it. They said, well, now Ricky, who used to clean bedpans, could go over there, Roberto, and clean his bedpan and stick a catheter in his dick. That was kind of cruel, but that's what they said. Dung. Well, yeah, it might as well be. See, everybody's got a background. It all comes out in the wash. How many times I got to prove it, man? They all got a background on here. They can't afford to talk about anybody, nevertheless me. There you go. That's the facts, son. Yeah, Conquistador Services, whatever, LTD, Limited. That was a kind of a logistics something kind of business he got into. I don't know. I don't know all the details on that with his business, but he was sitting in a chair most of his. He was never really very active, and which led to weight gain, all this other shit, other problems. He might have had other problems too that I don't know about, but he would be sitting at a desk a lot. He had this logistics business, whatever, Conquistador, and then, you know, standing around at a taco stand, that's not very active. Probably eating the profits up on there with his brother. He had some debts in the family line. He had a lot of traffic violations too. He had he probably on a motorcycle or something. He didn't have goggles, didn't have a helmet, and he had numerous traffic warrants. Yeah, he had a number of them. What else? I'm trying to think. I don't have the screen in front of me. I don't know. I seen some reference to age 48. He's older than that. He's got to be in his mid-50s or something. I don't know. All I know is I'm just sharing you with somebody. Just wrote me. I just went to my email and I seen that. Someone that writes me all the time. They do research. It was real research because this was a paid-for page. I mean, this was they gave his whole profile, business background, age, his addresses, which match up. It matches up his addresses. It's him. It's not anybody else by that name. The businesses he was doing with the something brothers, Smoking Brothers barbecue stand. Smoking Brothers barbecue is what it was. It was a barbecue. I don't think it was just tacos. It was a barbecue. Smoking Brothers barbecue is what it was. That's it. I don't have any idea. I'm only going for this information. They say he has Alzheimer's. He's bedridden. I've heard this thing about the Alzheimer's before, actually. But how realistic or truthful that was, I couldn't really tell you. We'll give you information that's not always true. But this sheet here was his profile. Stop licking your feet, dog. My goodness. I think dogs do that out of boredom. They do that out of, hey, go outside. Whoops. God. Door hit her foot. Just what I needed. Door hit her foot. Just I'm telling you to go outside. Doors, they do this out of boredom. They do this out of anxiety. They do this out of, I don't know. Let me put this thing on hold here on the TV. Okay. Let's see. I don't know the old. Region Frank Philippine. Oh. Yeah, I don't know his age. It sounds to me he's had a lot of problems. No wonder he was always bitter too. See, there's always these bitter people on here that have all this background baggage. It seems like to be a common pattern on here, isn't it? Am I right or not? I'm right. Yeah. Well, I think it's over with, I think. I know his license personally expired last month, actually. It's not been renewed. There was another one, Conquistador Service. I think that was not renewed. Some kind of business, Conquistador Limited, something like that. As I said, I don't have it in front of me. I should have just printed it out or something. Well, now Ricky could go over there and change his bedpans. And he's probably eating up the profits, like I said. Probably was. Well, we're not here to celebrate somebody's illness and all that, but couldn't happen to a better guy, really. He was a pain in the ass. He even threatened me and Gilda. So, again, please don't think I'm going to shed a tear that somebody's having some terrible illness in regards or relation to the crap that they were putting me through, or trying to anyway. Yeah. Right again. And of course, Abba was wrong too about wound healing. I had to prove that. I didn't have to prove that. I had joy out of proving that. I got that on there. He doesn't know shit. Apparently not. Conquistador, yeah. Conquistador. That was a business. I don't know if it was a logistics thing or something business. Logistics. There's nothing logical about the guy at all. Couldn't even hold a show. Couldn't even do a solo, and be without having a guest on there or something. He's a fight. Roberto threatened you. Yes, he did. He was always claiming he was going to assault. Yes. And next time he was in Philippines, but it never happened. Of course, same as Jay and people like that. They're not going to do shit. Me, that's another situation. I'll do something if I had to. That's the difference between me and these fucking cowards. Absolutely. So, that's the info I got. He could speak Messiah. He did a little bit. I believe he did. See, I'm telling you the truth. I can say, no, he can't speak. No, but he did know a little bit. And let me think. What was his Philippines connection anyway? I'm trying to... Okay, this is what I'm trying to figure out, because I'm trying to exercise my memory. He's been married to a white lady, She had a good business or something, I don't know. Owned properties in Utah. A little complex or something. Yeah, I got all that information on paper. But what was his relationship to the Philippines, though, is what I don't understand. He used to visit. Oh, I don't know. I guess he had relatives out here. Okay. Yeah. Well, no, he really didn't. He claimed he did. No, I just threw that in there for drama. No, he didn't throw anything in my... He never even came by my place. He wouldn't have done that. No, he never came by. But yeah, I'm trying to think his relationship to the Philippines is that he had family or some relatives in the Philippines. And that was his connection. That's why he'd get on YouTube and talk on this genre. Because he had relatives out here. That was his connection. So I was trying to think what his connection was, and I guess that's what it was. Yeah, something like that. Maybe that's it. Yeah. Oh, and it was unsuccessful business with his taco stand or barbecue. Smokin' Brothers Barbecue was what it was. Smokin' Brothers. Smokin. Smokin' Brothers. And you could verify that. Everybody knows the name of that already. They knew the name. That's common knowledge. So I'm not lying here. But, I don't know, because of his Alzheimer's or something, he can't work anymore. Whoever wrote me said he was bedridden and all that stuff. I don't know how to even know this stuff, to tell you the truth. Whether somebody was bedridden. Who's that close to him that's going to know this information? And how does he get out? That's the question. The little rap sheet, the profile, anyway, that was given to me, that was real. That was all real. But as far as him having Alzheimer's, bedridden, I can't prove that. I don't know. But I've heard somebody mention that before, so there might be something factual about that, actually. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I know, because I used to tell him all the time, and he didn't like. I used to say that he looks like a Samoan, and for some reason he didn't like that. Maybe he didn't get along with his father. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure his father died. But yeah, yeah, he had that Samoan, that temper. He had that Samoan temper. Yeah, it did look Samoan to me, so he'd get mad if I said he was Samoan or something, you know. So I don't know, he had a problem with being Samoan or something. I don't really know. He didn't like that part of his heritage or something. Or he was very protective of it. It was one or the other. I don't, yeah. Yeah, Samoans do have a temper, though. I used to work on a ship and have to share, you know, he was across his bunk bed. This Samoan had these eyes. They look at you like they're going to kill you, you know. Samoans have these tempers. I've heard these stories before. I don't know why they're so temperamental. I have no clue. I have no clue at all. I think his brother might. I don't know how many brothers he had. He was in business with his brother. With the most recent business was the barbecue stand, and I don't know when his brother died or if he had other brothers. Oh, maybe maybe his father married a Filipina or something. His father, was Samoan. His mother, I guess, was Filipino. It's probably something like that. Maybe he did have Alzheimer's. He always used to schedule a live and forgot. Yes, I seen that a lot. You're right about that. His twin supposedly died a few years ago. Yeah, I think he did have a twin. So you guys are putting up some real information. I think he was a twin brother. You guys imagine two Robertos. I don't know. Maybe his brother died a couple of years ago, and he was in the business with him. And then maybe Roberto was running the business, but then getting ill and everything. I don't know. Look, we can speculate till the cows come home, but, I know he's still alive. But Alzheimer's, it's a possibility. And anybody know how old he was, though? He is, whatever. And he's in his 50s, right? He got to be only in his 50s. I wonder what his twin died of, because that's genetic. I wonder what he died of. Oh, he's a character, I'll tell you that. Quite a character. Oh yeah, if I had to put him on a nemesis list, he was definitely at the top for a long time. And when he started putting threats toward me and Gilda and stuff, I said, yeah, that was it, You think he's about 60 now? You think he's about that now? Really? Yeah, you might be right. You might be right. But he had a lot of traffic violations, I know that. And he did, excuse me, he did file for a bankruptcy way back in, I forgot, 2001. I forgot. But it was dismissed. I mean, I guess meaning they wouldn't allow it. He tried to do a bankruptcy, but yeah. Tried businesses, Conquistador Limited. That was a business. I don't think that was very long. So he was very sedate, sitting down a lot. He was 56 to 57 a while back. Okay, maybe he's that old now. Time is going by. Having fun on here, Time goes by. Look at me, I have another birthday this month. I mean, time's going by. I've been on here a long time on YouTube, But I just want to tell my viewers, and I want to take a position on this. I don't generally wish ill on anybody, but I just will tell you that there are certain people on here that, I'm sorry, I don't really give a shit about, that mean nothing to me and have done nothing but try to do harm to me. And, I'm not going to shed a tear, and you can understand why. And I'm not being cold. I don't wish ill on anybody, but at the same time, if they're nobody important to me and they've done me wrong, then, well, finish the rest of that, Yeah, but I believe he's alive. But I know he was living in Dallas for a while, and his wife is still living over, was it Fairfield, where the family home is. And he was living in Dallas working. He might have even been separated from his wife, actually. His white stepdaddy was also U.S. military and met his mama in the businesses that cater to U.S. military personnel. Okay. Oh, his stepdaddy was white. But his real father was Samoan, right? His birth father was, well, his real father was actually Samoan, right? That he was? Well, I can't say anything conclusive on here, except I should just use the copier and copied this little profile sheet of his to prove to you I'm not bullshitting about it, nothing. But I got an email from somebody that usually writes me, and a lot of these people, they do research on people, they'll pay the money to do it. It's amazing. I don't pay anything to find information out. Now, I find it on my own, or somebody finds it for me, or... So it really comes down to one thing, wasn't it? Oh, if anybody says he was probably told his real daddy was Samoan, but who knows? His mama probably doesn't even know who the baby's dad was. Well, I have no idea about that. Gotta be fair about this. I have no idea. We could conclude and come up with conclusions, but unless we know the details, let's just be fair about this. That's why I said I can't prove he has Alzheimer's. I could say that just to knock him, whatever, and I just don't want to do that. I don't want to do what the trolls do. There's a good chance that he does, because I've heard this before. But do I know it? Absolutely. No, I don't. I don't. I want to say that right off. Well, Mick Fisher had said one statement on here, wasn't that terribly long ago. Oh, he talked to him. He says that Roberto was going to just take off for a year from YouTube to get away from it. Well, Mick Fisher can lie too, And he certainly has. Duh, Don't they all? Those ladies that worked in Olangapo and are from Leyte had many partners during their work. Yeah, and he had the relatives in Leyte, that's right. He absolutely did. Because Gilda's mom has a little house in Leyte. She don't live there, but yeah, his relatives definitely had relatives in Leyte. There's no question about that. Well, that's all the news I got fit to print here, really. What I heard is we're going to have an early monsoon season next month or something. I don't know. Oh, that's approaching monsoon. I think it's a little earlier than normal, so there is climate changes going on. It's very overcast right now. We're going to have to go to the store pretty soon here. I don't know. They want to get some pancit and shomai. I guess I could eat that, so we don't have to cook tonight. What's that? I don't see elephant. Oh. Regent says, Fisher is coached by ego. What to say? Sometimes obviously happened and they are covering it up. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, well, Mick Fisher kind of like is really close to Big E. Yeah, the last time you heard Roberto on a show was the day that Bummer got locked up and went live. But then Roberto tried to post a few things about me, but there was never any show. It was just a way of insulting me, getting my attention, and yeah. So the person who wrote me made a joke about it, that they're saying that now Ricky, the bedpan emptier, nurse's aide, ass wiper, go over there and help Roberto out, since he's got nursing aid experience. And if Roberto's actually in his bed with Alzheimer's, that's where Licky could come in and do something for his country. Do something good. Help Roberto. Help Roberto. As I said, man, there's no love lost between me and Roberto, man. You know, there's some key players on here that I don't like with a passion. And let me tell you one, Roberto is definitely one of them. He's another one that pushed the envelope with me and Gilda. So please don't expect, if he's having a hard time with his health and all that, don't expect me at all to feel sorry for Roberto. I have no reason to. None. Zero. All of these guys that have went down, Fazio, all the way down the line, that are dropping like fucking flies. There's no remorse, there's no whatever. Because they were pain in the asses is what they were. They were. Doesn't mean they deserve death. But I'm just saying, if they did die, and whoever did die, well, believe me, no tears shed over here. None whatsoever. Speaking of monsoons, did you hear from MJ? No, I haven't. No, I haven't. I wanted that video off him. What about Abo Man? Stop! Stop! Please stop! Yeah. If anybody says if one twin died of health conditions, the other one would expect his identical twin to also have similar health issues. Yeah, there's some truth to that. Not always, but generally speaking, I think what happened to one twin could happen to the other. They share the same genetics. But this has to do with a lot of things, environmental situations, personal habits. I know Roberto drank, and he had a lot of traffic violations too. He had a lot of them. I think he drank a lot. Common denominator with a lot of trolls. Okay, that's what I have to say, guys. I got to decide what I'm going to do as far as getting food and. Are you going to go down?
Yeah.
And get one. Yeah. Well, I could. He's going to drive you down?
Yeah.
You need me?
I don't need me.
Huh?
No need.
I don't need to go down with you? Yeah, I don't need to go down. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. They all float Pennywise. I guess why I'm saying this information is this. I'm just trying to acknowledge that these trolls who like to talk about me and everybody else, they got such baggage behind them that it's a laugh and a half. And it's not my job to expose people, but when they're trying to expose me or my faults, which, 99.99% of it is untrue, why can't I jump on the bandwagon too and say, touche? There's no reason I can't, and that's what I'm doing. So far you found out that Ricky was a nurse's aide and cleaned bedpans, right? There you go, right? And who else? There was some other, and okay, Abo Man, how fucked up he really is, and how he failed on a pizza business in Cebu. Got ripped off for $3,000 on the business. How he has a couple of children in the Philippines that he don't even acknowledge their existence, don't pay child support or nothing. Yeah. And he does have a criminal record, and likes to punch silicone dildos in his shower. How he had seizures. How he lost a lot of money in Bitcoin back then. How he still lives with his mummy. Then we went on with some other people too. It all comes out in the wash. All comes out in the goddamn wash, doesn't it? Regent says the bag is expected in this genre. IMO, your average foreigner to the Philippines has a seedy past. And then, yeah, then we also found out about Brevis, and somebody was saying that he was also, like Barry, was molested. He was also molested. Boy, the information comes out. John Smith says, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Pennywise says, MJ is busy with his turquoise collection. Nothing wrong with that. I like turquoise. Silver and turquoise go together. I used to have some stuff from the Southwest that I bought when I was on the road. I used to get a lot of stuff at Four Corners, you know, where they all meet up. Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, Colorado, call it Four Corners. And they sell a lot of native Indian jewelry. I don't know, I used to hear they used to get some kind of shit from the government or something. Silver, the government would give them silver and they would turn it into jewelry and stuff. And I don't know if the government was actually doing that or not. There's another town in Mexico that it's a big place if you want to go to get silver at a good price and jewelry or something. But right now we're not talking about actually Mexico, but yeah, Four Corners. Oh, I've certainly been there. Yeah, a lot of the Native Americans of the Southwest, big place for selling jewelry to the tourist. Oh yeah. Did I have a turquoise bolo tie? I don't think so. Fairy trashed MJ extra hard with that fat photo. Oh, did he? But a bunch of lovely people, aren't they? Everybody trashing each other, just getting off on it. What a lovely, lovely crowd of people we have on here. Imagine, in one genre, isn't that amazing? How many fucked up people we have on here. You know what I hear on this? When I hear all this shit about these people on here, boy, I tell you what, it makes me feel so good about myself. If I've ever doubted anything about myself before, whether my sanity or anything, I think I'm one of the most sane people on here. I honestly, I don't lie on here. Everything I have ever said on my show was factual. It was always stuff that was put on their show that people heard, people seen. I never made anything up. I had no reason to. The information was already out there. So how they could label me as a liar? Well, liar about what? What did I lie about? They said I didn't own my house in Hawaii. It was my brother's. That's a lie, obviously. And whatever else. I proved to people every fucking statement they ever made about me, and they ate crow on it. You know. They figured they had me pegged. They didn't. There was not one honest thing told about me here on YouTube by these trolls. Not one honest thing. Very fat shamed MJ to silence. Well, understand about MJ. We're just on even keel with him right now because he's talked some shit about me in the past, and I told you I don't forget. There's things I can forget, but I'm going to be right up front with you. There's things I will never forget of what people said about me or tried to do, or there's nothing wrong with my memory there. You really don't know who I am, do you? I think a lot of you people only think you know me. You don't know me in certain ways. I'm not a professional sleuth. You know, I'm not I'm not somebody in the dark shadows with a knife in his hand. I'm not, a villain in any way like that. But I will tell you, though, if you want more honesty, and I'll give you it. I'm not a person to fuck with. Because put it this way, I can be crazy. If I really wanted to be. I could be super scary fucking crazy. It's like, I'm sorry I ever met you, ever talked to you, Frank, crazy. I should have never messed with you, Frank, crazy. Just like if somebody physically attacked me, I wouldn't get off their fucking back. I'd come back, I'd wake up again from a fucking punch or something, I'd get back, and if that didn't work, I'd go visit the person later on and take care of business. I'm just crazy that way. Somebody attacks me, I don't give a fuck how. I was always like this. You know. I told you, that friend Michael Stick of mine, the one that was, going to CBGBs and shit, a lot, he was a good friend of mine. He pulled some crap on me or said something. I was all over him. I was all over this motherfucker, and that's why we're not friends. I told you about the guy over there in the department store I used to work with, John Carr, C-A-R-R. Sweeping the refuse on my feet and all that. I warned him 3 times. I went for his neck. The boss had to go after me and pull us apart. I tell you what, I get triggered in that way, God forbid, for the person that's on the other hand. I don't care who they are, how big they are. Sure, they can knock the shit out of me. I'm sure for a lot of people could. But thing is, if I get up again, they're in trouble. Or if I see them again, it might be worse. I'm just saying, I'm very self-protective of myself. I'm very protective of my family. Always have been. My daughter always said I was overprotective of her, but I tell you what, I have no problem with that at all. I think parents should be overprotective of the children. You're doing all the shit that's going out there, drugs, everything, and dangerous people. You got to be protective of your children. You have to be. That's the. That's an old photo of MJ. He's been in gym, lose some weight, put on some muscle. At least he makes an effort. Yeah, that's my point, man. MJ is trying to do good for himself. You can't blame the guy. And yeah, he's got some guns there. He's got some muscle there. He's, at least in his arms. You gotta have something to look forward to some way. That's why I do some exercise. And I'm not really doing enough as I like. I'm honestly not doing enough. Some days I feel tired. Some days too hot. I say fuck it. But I'm always doing something with the weights or something a little bit. I'm always circulating my blood. I really need to get on that treadmill. It's been a week and a half. I haven't touched it. And I don't want that to be habit, I don't want that to be a habit. But no, people are just jealous of everybody. That's just me. They're just jealous I'm not having this really horrible, horrible life that they'd like me to have. And that bothers the shit out of them, man. That's why they're so bitter. Because all these people, everyone I mention, obviously so. And you guys have been on YouTube long enough to put all these puzzles together with these people. You've seen it with your own eyes, what people do with their own wife. And you've seen, heard, and, I don't make this shit up. It doesn't come out of my mouth. You've seen all the shit these people have been through. Then you've also learned some things too, haven't you? And I don't make this shit up. I can't make this shit up. Too real to life, we've seen the way people behaved on their videos with their own wives or girlfriends or this or that or this or that. I mean, you've seen it all. Nothing to make up there, man. So, like I said, people need to clean up their own backyard before they tell somebody else to clean up theirs. I mean, that's what it really comes down to. Can't put it better than that. And that's just true. That's true. I can get away with this air conditioner. It's not that cold. I got this fucking air conditioner on. The fan should be good enough. I had a 10,800 peso freaking electric bill this past month. That's fucking ridiculous. Oh, I kept busy today. I was painting cabinets. I mean, I do shit around here, man. I was cleaning out some kitchen bottom cabinets that smelled musty and got all this ridiculous shit that was under there she was saving. Plastic tops to ice cream containers. There was all kinds of shit. Spider webs under there. There was this sand, black sand, probably from the ants. I don't know, they use sand to make nests and stuff. I always find that everywhere. Yeah, I painted some of the doors. I painted some of the cabinets. In the food storage room, I painted a cabinet and a shelf in there. A couple of outside doors. I keep busy. I try to keep busy. Because truthfully, out here in the Philippines, I go out of my fucking mind if I didn't do it. People think I'm just sitting on my ass watching TV. That's so far from the truth. It really is. I like to keep busy. I prefer keeping busy. Okay, Pennywise. I should have my glasses here. Boy, my eyes. That's another thing. MJ's videos now show only his face up close. No more body shots like when he used to work out. Those steroids. Well, I hope he isn't doing steroids. I really don't recommend that. I highly don't recommend it. You're playing with fire when you paint with steroids. You know. And also, you take steroids, your nutsack shrinks or something too. I don't know if you guys knew that. Yeah, anabolic steroids. Your nutsack shrinks. It's not worth it. I mean, what do you need all that muscle for anyway? Just build up some tone like I'm doing. Just tone up your muscles a little bit. I could lose about 2 inches in my belly. Get more proportion between chest and stomach. Sure. My weight, I can definitely tell you where my weight is. It's my thighs. Thunder thighs. Dun, dun, dun. Thunder thighs. I got some pretty good thunder thighs here, I think. I think so. Not that bad, but that's where a lot of my flab is. It's my thighs. That means I got to do more bicycling, stationary bike or something, more walking and all that. Otherwise, not that bad, really. Am I at a fighting weight? I don't know. I'm barely 5'7", and I usually weigh in between 168 and 170. I usually weigh in around there. Well, lately it's been about 75 kilos. I could go down to 166 all the way to 172 or so. It just varies. It varies. Bummer, Havoc, and Kev, etc. dragging down the genre. Yeah, they sure are. It's a shame, because, when I first was on YouTube there, it was actually a pretty good place. And I was having fun. The chair, the whole bit, And I was having fun. I was playing with people's heads, though. I really was. I'll blame myself. I was. The tree thing, the whole setup, Ayala Mall thing. There was just things to shine them up. Oh, that was my most precious one, actually, was to shine them up. Yeah, that was completely choreographed. I mean, why would somebody come on there and say, it's just like that other edited video they put on. I like 14-year-old prime girl, whatever. Why in the world would a halfway intelligent man, really, say that on public media? Obviously, that was edited. And the other thing with the, there's a number of things on here. The tree, this and that. I knew people saw my backyard in Hawaii a lot. And I knew that they figured out I was actually not in Mactan, like I said I was. The thing about the Ayala Mall, I was very familiar with it. I knew where Starbucks was. I wasn't even really heading to Starbucks. I was heading to Greenwich. I played with these people's heads all the time like they were playing with mine. They just didn't know I was doing that for a reaction. But I got to tell you, though, I did get a reaction every time I did something like that. So did I play around on YouTube? I sure did. It was all in fun. It was all in fun. It wasn't mean shit like Barry did with me, It wasn't, it was all in fun because they thought they'd be baiting me a lot. There's a few times I did get baited. I absolutely did. I told you, I have no reason to lie on here. I'm telling you that I've been baited by people many times till I caught on, okay? I have nothing to hide on here. There's nothing to hide in my life, and there's really no responsibility to share anything about my life to begin with. But since I don't have anything to hide, I don't mind talking about my life a little bit. I don't mind talking about accomplishments or this or that, or, I'm not embarrassed to expose my family here a little bit here because I'm proud of them. This is my new family. It's in the Philippines. No matter, what losses I've had in America as far as my family, I made up for it with a brand new family. And I'm very happy about it. I know that when I croak, somebody's going to be by my side. I'm not going to die alone like Fazio. That's horrible. That's terrible. Well, shit happens, people, and it's good to be in a position where you're comforted and you have somebody. And some of these guys, they can't get a woman. You know who they are. They got to pay for their dates. And I think that's really sad. I mean, I'm honestly telling you, I think that's really not to just knock these people. It's really sad when you got to pay for your dates, man. That it's coming, you're getting later in your life and shit, and you have to pay for your dates. I mean, come on, dudes. Steve Martelli, Ricky, Jay, Kevin, all these people. It's sad. It's fucking sad. Oh yeah, the perch. Oh, everybody loves the perch. Hey, I claim that, by the way, because Chris disappeared. That's my perch. Nobody's taking it away from me. Darcy, oh, Abbo just posted a clip claiming you kicked your dog. He is obsessed. Oh, what he's referring to is about, as I said, he's desperate to find fault with me. About a half an hour ago when I got on here, my dog was licking her foot, and I let her out the door. The edge of the door hit her foot on the way out, and she yelped. No, I didn't kick my dog. I love my dogs too much to go kick my dogs, and everybody knows that. They know I love they see it all the time, how I treat my dogs. But when you're as desperate as Abbo is, you're going to find, it's like Barry kept on digging his shovel, digging his own grave. And he just dug that hole for him is what he did. He was putting nails on his coffin and everything. Abbo's doing the same thing. When he runs out of shit to say about me, he'll make something, oh yeah, Frank's kicking his dog. No, I don't kick my dogs. I never did. Then he used to say my old dog that had died, the same night, kicked that dog. Let me tell you something. It's one thing I don't do is treat my dogs like that. I treat them as good as anybody could treat their own children. I think you know that. Yeah, I know. I think you know I have a passion for animals. So there you go. There you go. Jay Stillman, the PDF file is coming undone. His past is catching up with him. Yeah, I believe he is. He's going to have another breakdown again. I'm sure of it. Don C. the Elephant Simp says, I thought Abbo had a job. He seems to have a lot of time on. Yeah, that's kind of interesting, isn't it? He digs ditches for a company, works construction. I thought he had all this money. Why does he need to work? But he digs ditches. Fuck, nothing well, it's honorable. It's a job. But, there's nothing like honorable about it. You know what I mean? As far as jobs are concerned. Ditch digger, the entitlement of a ditch digger. He talks about me. Hey, I was fine with the jobs I've had. I was absolutely fine with most of them. And no problem. There's a few shit jobs I've had, but you don't like where you're at, you leave it. Fuck, I left Seattle. Boom, what a good job. It was a good job for the Parks. It was an excellent job. I told you about how I felt about it. There was some good and bad to it, both. Freedom I had, there was a lot of things. The benefits were good and all that. When I finally got them, they were great. And I did put into it's kind of a 401k. So I did have a little money when I actually left Seattle for Hawaii. I did withdraw my money. I'm not going to tell you how much. I did withdraw that. And for those people wondering, what did I make on that house in Hawaii? I sold it for $412,000. You know what my mortgage was? My balance? So you do the math. I came to the Philippines with a little bit of money. It wasn't just from that house, though, but it was $412,000 was the sale price. And I had a mortgage of about $105, I think it was, a balance of $105. So I came to the Philippines with a few bucks in my pocket. And don't forget, I had a house in Seattle, and I still had money in the bank from that house. Never had to really spend it because I was working for the parks department. And I used to put away a little bit here, a little bit there. So I came with money. And something I never mentioned, I had a settlement on something too with the city. I never mentioned that, didn't I? I had a little monetary settlement on an injury. Oh yeah, all in my favor. I'm not going to tell you the amount of that. So I came to the Philippines with a couple of bucks, okay? But it wasn't until I was in the Philippines, well, I sold the house, and I was living in the Philippines. I spent the year, about 14 months to be exact, because of the COVID. And while I was there, I fixed up the house, and I got a buyer for it. Then they opened up the Philippines. I came back, and everything was actually able to be done electronically, electronic signatures and everything else with the escrow agency and all that stuff. And money was sent electronically to my bank. That's how it went. So I never went to the Philippines broke. Oh no. No, 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 no. No. What I should have done, and should have, could have, would have thing, was just paid off the house in cash that I had built in Hawaii. I should have done that. I would have had a lot more money coming back to me. But I was too stingy with my money. I didn't want to spend. I didn't want to blow it on there. I figured if the monthly payments were reasonable, and they really were. They really were reasonable. But then later on, of course, taxes, everything went up. Then all that trouble with the tenants and all that shit. I said, I'm tired of being a landlord. And that was that. Then I came out here, and we bought a lot right near the port, and I made a little money on that too. So people saying, how could Frank afford to pay his lawyer? He's broke, he's this and that. I'm as broke, put it this way, I'm as broke as you want me to be. How's that for an answer? Maybe that's what he does. Maybe he's actually a grave digger. If he's been doing, maybe so. Yeah, it does have a little more time on his hands for YouTube, does it? Region 6 says, Stillman spent his adult life working to supply himself with booze and smokes. Eventually that catches up to you. That's why he lives with his mother. Well, part of the theory was that if he was really having the seizures, that his mother was the only one that would know how to handle him. He had to live at home because, you know, the way seizures work, you know, you don't really want to live alone when you have a seizure. You have to live with somebody. And that could be the reason why he was living at his mom's place and still is. I personally think he's afraid to live alone. He's got to have people around. That's why, you know, he comes to Cebu. He's going to pay for some broads to hang around with him in case something happens. But none of these guys, they all pay for their women. They all pay. Ricky with his dates. Ricky can't get a woman if he tried. In fact, he's been having a hard time. I don't know, he says he's back with that girl again. But I don't know what he defines as being back with her. You know Ricky. You can't believe everything he says, obviously not, you know. Living a 5-star lifestyle, that's quite debatable. As everybody pretty much knows. He took the higher money for his army thing. There was that thing he took on his pension. They took more money out this way he could, yeah, but then it's now running out or something, so he's going to be making less money. Yeah, so there you go. I mean, you know, people talk. But the fact is, they're not always telling the truth, you know. Obviously not. And, you know, I figure, why do I have to tell the truth? Why not amplify my life to a different level, you know? And say that they're doing so good when they're really not. Sick grandpa must have upped his weekly allowance for her to return. Yeah. Hugo says Stillman was a convict. He served jail time in Aussie drug charge. Yeah, I did hear that too. I did hear that. So how can he afford to talk about me? He says that Hugo, and he brags about it. He's bragging about that fact, huh? Really? Why would you brag about that? I'll tell you what, I'm giving no bullshit. It makes me feel a whole lot better about myself. When I hear the real stories about every single one of these fucking losers that have a lot to say about me, but tables turned. We got a lot to say about them now, don't we? Don't we? Don't you love it when the table turns? Now everybody knows. I've covered several people on their backgrounds. Now the newest thing comes up with Roberto. He wasn't living the life of Riley after all, was he? He had a lot of problems with health, with this, with that, with business, family. They all had checkered past. They all were fucked up. And whoever's still alive is fucked up. Kevin's fucked up. He'll always be fucked up. And then the thing with Kevin, you know, that story about the bolo knife in the head. Yeah, I believe that happened, obviously. I just don't believe it's the story he told it. Then you hear about Brevis, you know, and he had a that's what they were saying anyway, that he said that he was molested, that came from him, not me. You know, he was molested in his life by, what was it? Of all people, it was, it was somebody with Down syndrome. He got molested by somebody with Down syndrome. What a scenario is that? What a fucking scenario. It's when they get molested by somebody who has Down syndrome? Fucking A. The torrid lives they live. I can't keep up with this shit, man. I'm overwhelmed with this shit lately. These people. A lot of fucked up people on. Yeah, apparently so, Hugo. Yeah, you heard talk about it on a live stream years ago, really. Regent says, Kevin recently relocated to Asia and films none of it. Yeah, because he didn't do anything. They're all from a rented room space. Very rare that you see anything. Maybe 1 or 2 times he passed by a festival and videoed a minute of it or something. But I don't think his life is any different than when he was over at where he is. And originally he went to Thailand, then went to Vietnam, couldn't work out there. He went back to Thailand. Obviously, there's nothing happening for him. And he's still not in great shape. He's still not in the best health in the world. So, you know, he's hanging around that apartment watching TV and listening to YouTube channels and putting on his own shows. There's nothing exciting going on in Kevin's life than he ever had before. The great thing is that he lost weight. We give him kudos to that. The guy was almost 500 pounds. That's a lot of pounds. That's like 3 people in one body. And he still needs to lose weight. He's had problems and corrections, things going on for his knees, this and that and this and that. Was on all kinds of medicines. So just listen. Just fucking listen, man. If this was like my last fucking day on YouTube, I would go in such peace, because to know that these people have pretty much exposed themselves, really. And that the very people that were knocking me and trying to find fault with me, well, lo and behold, the checkered past they have and the checkered present that they have. Kevin living off his Social Security and YouTube revenue. Yeah, certainly is. Not to mention his begging. Put a little jingle in my pocket, you know. You know what it is? Why people give him any money? They feel sorry for Big Kevin in their own way. They know he's like a functional retard is what he is, okay? Somewhat functional retard. A partially functional retard is what he fucking is. And not to make, you know, excuse that the bolo knife, it caused damage to his brain. That's what happened. I mean, it's sad that it happened, but he had to have done something pretty fucked up. Nobody's going to put a bolo knife in your head like that unless you really fucked up. You did something really wrong. And I don't buy the story. It was his brother-in-law or something like that. Nah, man, even if they were drunk. I'm sorry. I never bought that story. I still never buy that story. I still never will buy that story. And the reason he don't go to the Philippines, he's not even making an effort. Don C. actually took him by the hand and brought him to the immigration office while he was still in Thailand or something. Took him by the hand, literally, not figuratively, to try to get some shit straightened out, you know, with the immigration office as far as what he owes and how to, you know, correct all the situation. Big Kevin will not go to the Philippines again. He doesn't want to, because whatever happened, it scared the shit out of him to get out of that town after getting that bolo knife. He said he ain't going back to the Philippines. There's no fucking way. And he makes a lot of excuses, but there's no fucking way he's going back to the Philippines. He's not even trying. Regent says ego is self-serving. He gives Kevin a few bucks to stay relevant. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we know Big E gives him money all the time. Big Cabin wishes that he had Fazio's pot to bang. Well, he's banged the pot a few times trying to copy off. Yeah, Big Wallet could be helping him too. Well, he likely is. Yes, likely. I think they just feel sorry for him, really. Kevin already overstayed in Vietnam. I know. I know. He was trying to play it down. He shouldn't even mentioned it. Oh man, they talking about me. What I got going is an administrative thing. There's no way in the world that I'm purposely not trying to pay my visa or anything like that. It's administrative. And it was now 6 months. It's, what was it, March 4th is when it had expired at the time. So how is that 6 months? I mean, do your math, folks. Let's just say March to April to May, 3 months. March 4th to April 4th is 1 month. April 4th to May 4th is 2 months, right? So how is that 6 months? Somebody please explain, as Barry likes to say. How is that 6 months? They also bad in math too, besides everything else. Jay said that Big Cabin will only go back to the Philippines if someone pays his fines. He doesn't want to pay anything out of his pocket, man. He's been begging for years. And he claims he sends money and shit to his kids. He don't send shit to his kids. And they're all trying to, get him to visit his kids. Who says I'm not going to visit kids? How many years has it been? The kids are in Australia, with all the other kangaroos. It's not a hard thing to go to Australia. If he really wanted to visit his kids, he'd do it. I don't think his ex, whatever, the mother of the kids want such a loser like him in a kid's life. He was a boozer, man. He was a big-time boozer. He was chasing ass like he wouldn't believe in his life. When he worked in Alaska, he was doing that. Drinking like a fish. Anybody who worked in Alaska and lived there, they drink like a fucking fish. I worked a very short time in the industry out there, and I know how people drank. Shit, we used to go to Flying Tiger Inn. I didn't drink. I went there just to get away from the ship in my off time. There was a long fucking pier. I swear the damn thing was like a quarter of a mile long, where the ship was anchored. And they had the flying, you probably heard of that? In Cold Bay. Am I lying? The Flying Tigers Inn. They had an Air Force base there, and they had a kind of a general store, what they call it, which had a bar and supplies, food supplies, different things, and they had a bar there. Yeah. Then they get drunk off their ass, they'd ring the bell, and the same thing Kevin's doing, have to pay for everybody's drinks. I remember one fucking guy actually fell in the water. He walked back over that quarter of a mile pier, and that water was kind of rough. They had to get him out of there. Somebody stole his wallet and all his money too. Yeah. Then there was these really mean-ass bears that have killed people there too, because they have a dump site over there in Cold Bay. Yeah, I was in Cold Bay. And I was also in Akutan. And that was a barge that was in the middle of Akutan Bay. That was really remote. Had to get there by seaplane and then by small boat to get us over to the barge. Yeah, I worked in Alaska 2 times. I didn't stay long, but I had the experience of working. I didn't work at what they call a cannery on land, like Don says I worked in a cannery. No, I worked on the ship, and we packaged all the crab that tenders would bring in, and we would package it, freeze it, the whole bit, butcher it, do all that shit. Everybody had a different job. I used to butcher the crab. I used to gild the crab. I used to help with packing. I worked in the freezer hold, packing all the stuff that's coming down, put it in the blast freezer. Did some forklift work down there too. I did all that shit, man. I did all that shit. You think the mother hit him with the bolo? I want to know the true story of that. Yeah, Hugo says Pinoy Troll used to drink a case of beer during his live stream. I know. Now that guy, Now, he was funny to listen to. I got to tell you that. He was fun to listen to. He was drunk all the time. You could hear the pop tops going off on his can constantly, man. When he got drunk, he really made a spectacle of himself. He really did. Pinoy troll. The latest he's done, he's had basically a Pinoy, whatever, channel, really, that he was only speaking his language and all that to others. And I don't think he's still around. I don't know. That he started doing it again. But he was also got arrested, too. Everybody's a record, even Pinoy Troll. Pinoy Troll went to jail numerous times. Every single one of these trolls are fucked up. And I'm so relieved to say that. I have proved it. Every one of these people that attack me on here have a checkered past and a checkered present. Every single one of them. Right on target, man. Who gives a crap about what Don C says? I know. His obsession with you invalidates anything he says. Boy, is he obsessed. I thought Bama was obsessed with calling me names and all that shit, but no. Don Crawford. And I showed you his little rap sheet too, didn't I? That he had a bankruptcy. I didn't mention that too on this show. Every one of them. Oh man, he was trying to overplay that shit. Every time Kevin or somebody did a show, you see the, little statement on there. I never had a bankruptcy. It's all lies. It's all, what's the hide? It's an American privilege. I had a couple of those things too, man. I'm not embarrassed about it. You do what you got to do. We had certain privileges in America. We had certain privileges. And if something happened, you fucked up, you take advantage of that. So you can regroup. And that's exactly what it did. Bought a house in Seattle, and everything is history from that point on, man. Everything is history from that point on. Hold on. I see feeding the dogs here. You're back. Okay. All right. What do we put in the dog? Just regular dog food. And we're going to need to buy more packets, too. That's not a lot of dog food in those dishes. But then again, it's their nighttime.
Yeah, they didn't finish.
Oh, that's right. She didn't finish her old stuff, didn't she? Sal didn't. Well, what are you waiting for, Ginger? You got your share. Okay, we have to get off here in a couple of minutes. Din time. Yeah, we're having pancit tonight. Well, yeah. Say what you say, want to say about it. And, yeah. And shomai, which I love shomai, no matter what. Been a good show, man. Been a good show. What a perfect timing. It says 2% battery, too. What perfect timing. Don C is in his 70s and still trolling on you on YouTube. Loser. I'm very glad to have this show tonight because I think all my viewers is 22 out there. Now what they didn't know, they now know. Now you can look at all these goobers on here and say, they're in no position to ever say anything about Frank. They're in absolutely no position to say anything about me at all. None of them. None of them. Every single one of the major trolls on here, they're always attacking me. You now know about their past. Now you know something a little about Roberto. The newest one, that Ricky was a nurse's aide. He's a clean bedpans and shit. 5-star life he had. The guy's a cuckoo bird, man. He's a fucking cuckoo bird. God, go to political rallies. He goes out of his fucking mind. I'm surprised he's not in prison. The other fucked up lies. Divorces, this, that, who had bankruptcies, who's been in jail, who's got criminal records, they're all fucked up. They can't even maintain a fucking family or a marriage. They got to cheat on them. It's just sick. Sick fucking people. And Jay, boy, you're up in line with them, I'll tell you that, man. There's nothing charming or wonderful about your life at all, Jay Stillman. Nothing at all for anybody to be jealous of. At least I got my shit together, man. I can say that with pride. I came out here with a purpose. I stayed out here with a purpose. I'm still here with a purpose. Still the same woman. Almost 9.5 years. We share a home out here. A life out here. And we're not starving. I think I've done very well. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. And with that being said, I got to go. My battery's out. It's perfect timing. I got to eat. I'm glad I've been able to enlighten my viewers finally. And I'm sure that the people on, what do you call that platform? I never go on it, so never. They're all going to have a lot to talk about. I think they all agree with me on that. Because a lot of you people even know even more information than I do about these characters. This is just the surface stuff. The surface stuff that I put on. No, I'm not Teflon. I'm not Teflon. You know, I still got a little fight on my hands right now. You know what that is. So we're handling it, though. We're handling it. I had a reason why I went to Cebu, my friends. I sure fucking did. A double reason, actually. 2 reasons. 2 reasons. 2025 is Frank's year. So much crow. Well, a lot of crow was served so far. Now that you guys all have information about your favorite characters on here, now you can look at them in a different light. Discord, I'm sure, is going to be saying a whole lot about this. I'm sure it's going to be burning up on Discord. And I'm sure my viewers will let me know. With that being said, bye-bye. Dinner time. Thanks. I don't know, folks. I think karma is very, very real. I really believe it now. I really do. My goodness, I got them trained like a seal. It's amazing. Build it and they shall come. Say anything about the big cabin. You know he's going to do a show, and guess what? You got one scheduled. Oh, sucker bait, sucker bait, sucker bait. And of course, you know, Abo Man will definitely come on there. What do you got to say, Abo Man? You haven't said before. Now that people know a little about your history, what could you really say that you haven't said before? We're all waiting with bated breath. And you too, big cabin. Well, how many people out there, we should do a poll sometime, which we really should do. How many people think a big cabin is going to survive Thailand? He's got no insurance. He's got no insurance at all. And he's loaded with a little bit this and a little bit that of health problems. You know what I'm saying? How's he going to survive Thailand? How any of us, really. But him especially. So what are you going to say in the show now? You're looking for a little jingle, right? Is that what you're doing a show for? You're looking at a reason to put on a show so you could talk about your Uncle Frankie. Oh, boy. It just doesn't get better. But it gives the guy something to do. I mean, what is he going to do? I mean, he's still overweight. Not 500 pounds anymore, but he's still overweight. He's got his own health conditions. He's in Thailand. Good hospitals. Good. Oh, no. Yeah, right. He's back in... No. Yeah, no, he's back in Thailand. Right, he's back in Thailand. Good hospitals there, but can you afford it, Kev? You expect everybody to pay your way. Biggie's not your daddy. He's not your daddy. I don't know what he told you, but he's not your daddy. He's not your daddy. You expect only so much help from somebody. I'm just telling you. Just telling you. Gotta play it cool. So what are you gonna say about me now, Big Kev? Come on, man. Get fucking real. Your special guest gonna be on there, of course. Our good friend in Australia. Diabo Man. Diabo Man. What more do you have to say now, Abo? What more lies you want to tell about yourself? It's getting old, Abo. You're getting old. You gotta untie yourself with Mummy. I know she's there. I know you have to be with her because of your seizures. I understand that. And, you know, rightfully so. I mean, I don't knock the situation. I really don't. When you have something like that, and you drink too much, your liver's all fucking gone. You're gonna need somebody at your side, even if you can't get a woman. Can't even give a woman that you pay for to stay with you. That gets pretty sad in itself. What else could you say, Big Cabin? What else could you say that you haven't said before? I know, do a show. Give a reason to do a show. To get that jingle in your pocket. It's the only reason you do a goddamn show, and you know that. You don't go anywhere. You actually don't go anywhere. You don't. You don't go anywhere. Because you can't. You tried moving in 2 different countries, and what have you done with yourself while you're in these 2 different countries? Where have you gone? Where have you gone? Nowhere but your apartment or a bar. So you go slap down some money for companionship, buy a girl a drink. But, I think we forgive you to a point because we know you got mental illness. I have completely and utterly have established this debauchery, all kinds of stuff. Goes on and on and on with the history of these people. I'm glad it doesn't spread like a fucking virus. We're all going to be in trouble. Who knows how advanced AI has gotten? They can create computer viruses, but is there any real viruses that affect the people that come on here on YouTube? Because as far as I could see, these people got some problems, dudes. Mother mercy. They got some problems. Kev, you've been chasing your tail, man. Yeah, I know you have a show coming up, and I'm going to address you before you even put a show on. You got some serious problems, dude. Chasing tail syndrome. Never getting anywhere. You should have stayed in your aunt's basement. You were safe there. You were in their hospitals. And you were having so much fun with all your toys. His LinkedIn profile say only he has no job. Well, okay. Let's look at it this way. What is he on? A disability status, right? Something like that? Well, if he can spend all that time on a computer, like he does, he can work. Now, his brain is pretty fucked up, obviously. I mean, you don't get a bowler knife in your brain and come out unscathed. But if he could run his mouth the way he does on his show, I think he could work a job on a computer. That's just my opinion. All these people that claim to have a disability, but they don't have shit. Well, he does. I mean, to a point, let's face it. The way he slurred speech. I think about some jingle. Gotta pay for these drinks for these girls. Oh, I got a woman for 9 months. Really? Where is she? That picture you showed to some gal? Show any picture you want. Come on. Show us out in the town, dancing. Smooch a little bit. Show us you got a girlfriend, Big Cabin. I dare you. I double dog dare you. You ain't got nobody. You made a mistake, and you know it. You should have stayed in your aunt's basement, where you belonged with your little light-up gadgets and noise machines and green screen and all the little toys you have there, new microphones, and what good is it, man? It's fantasy land. That's not living life. That's so far from living life. Go to Thailand. Oh, it didn't work out for you. Couldn't get a woman. Then Biggie convinced you to go to Vietnam. You're going to get laid, Kevin. I promise you're going to get laid. Here's a couple of bucks to help you get laid. Didn't happen. Nope. Didn't happen. It's not going to happen. I don't think you can mechanically even have sex. I don't think the mechanics are working in your favor. I don't think so. You know, I get them every time. I know how to bait them. They all fall into my trap. All fall into my trap. If I did a show that mentioned him, he's sure to come on. It's kind of like the Barry syndrome. The Barry syndrome. Hello. Oh, they all float. Everyone. Some of them are really, really, literally floating. So you do your little show, Big Cabin. Do your little show. That Frank. Frank is this, Frank is that. I'm living the real life. Are you really? Is that what you moved out of the United States for? Is to sit around a cramped room in some godforsaken country and just put out shows of how your life is so great? Well, I have to tell you, I'd understand if you demonstrated it. I have not seen anything of that yet. Neither has anybody else. Has anybody ever seen him doing things out there in Thailand and Vietnam? I haven't. There might have been one scene he stepped outside. There was some festival. But that's all I've ever seen. The fact is, he can't take the heat of Thailand, nor can he take the heat of Vietnam. Nor does he have the ability to walk any long distances. Nevertheless, to go out in the sun of the day, in the heat of the day, with his weight, and he still has a lot of it, and a bum knee, or bum knees plural, I don't see it. And I certainly haven't seen it, but a lot of viewers have said, they said, Cabin, why don't you show us, a little bit of Vietnam? Show us a little bit of Thailand. Show us something that you get out of your room. Big Cabin cannot walk too far, so he stays close to his room. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying. Pennywise says, Big Cabin is living the same as if he was sitting in his aunt's basement in Kentucky. Well, he at least got out to go to church, got in a car. He didn't go many places at all. He'd get up in his tidy white shirt and black pants and nice black shoes, go to church. Go to church? Dude, you're an evil man. You're an evil son of a bitch. Go to church? Just what fucking hypocrisy again. A crumb bun like you going to church, what? For, saving face in the community? In your case, I could say that. Or your aunt forces you to do so. If you're going to live in my house, you're going to have to go to church. Does she know how fucking evil and fucked up you are? Does she realize how much damage was done to your fucking brain? No, he can't walk too far. No, he can't. And having sex with somebody? Look, I could be wrong. I could be way off base, but I don't think I am. I don't think he could have sex. I think he's got too many health problems, even the weight. And the other thing, too, I don't think he'd be willing, listen up, to take off his clothes in front of a woman. You know why? He may have lost a lot of that 500 pounds he was, but the one thing he could not lose unless he had surgery is the big, big mounds of loose skin after losing that weight. Well, he'd have to take Viagra, but still, he's still got a big belly and everything else. What's the mechanics of his sexual position? I don't know. Maybe if he studied geometry or something. But with all the brain damage he has, well, yeah, I doubt geometry's probably out of the question. Probably even prior to his brain injury. Now, I better take a lot of Viagra. But you still got to figure how to, find a target and get in and hit that target, no matter how much Viagra you take. Duh, if you don't mind, I want to keep my shirt on. Is that okay with you? Ah, big boy. I prefer it that way. I don't know, a southern Thai girl or a southern Vietnam girl. He'd be too afraid to take off his shirt. The rolls of fat just everywhere. Yeah, you could lose the weight, but your skin gets stretched out. And other than surgery, you'd have to really work out, build up muscle to replace the fat. Muscle will replace the fat. It might actually fill in some of that loose hanging skin. It might. I'm not sure about that, how that works. If I was sure about it, I'd tell you. But I know that when you've been that heavy, and that's pretty heavy. He ain't heavy. He's my brother. Oh, you were heavy, dude. You were heavy. Heavy is... It's a lot of weight to carry around for your heart. The stress on your heart, Kevin. The stress on your heart, even now. And the shit that you're eating, Kevin. You can't walk down the street without stopping. Maybe taking a cane with you. Perhaps you and Popeye should get together and do something together. He could bring his mobile scooter, and perhaps you could join him on it. No, you'd probably break the scooter, but, maybe you could hold on to one of those carts, walk with those carts with the little green balls on it, so you don't slip and slide. Well, we learned a lot this week, didn't we? Man, I tell you what, my psyche is like up there, man. It's like I got that adrenaline going, man. I got the good stuff going, the GABA. And, if I have a down moment in my life, I just think about these goobers and I say, Frank, you don't have problems compared to these people. Not even remotely. Look at the lives they're living. Look what they've done to their bodies. Look what they're doing on YouTube or not doing, or the way they talk. Lack of ability to reason. Lack of the ability to think properly and clearly. Chasing their tails constantly. How do you live with yourself with something like that? Take a rope and just fucking hang yourself and get it over with. Do a Robin Williams thing. He knew he had something coming with him, and that's why he killed himself. He didn't want to have to experience the worst of it. Is that the answer for the big cabin? Oh, I'm not promoting him to go kill himself, but I don't know. They say you can do whatever you want with your body. Take your own life if you want to take your own life. If you're not depressed, I don't suggest it, but, think, what do you got to live for? You move out of your safety zone, ground zero, safety zone of America, the safety of your aunt's home in case there's an emergency. And what do? You want to prove to the world, I'm going to lose some weight and I'm going to go to Philippines. But you never made it to the Philippines. What are you scared of, big cabin? What are you afraid of? The same guy that stuck that fucking bolo knife deep into your fucking brain and made you a fucktard is going to find you again and finish the job? Is that what you're afraid of? I know several people that tried to help you with your Philippine situation, big cabin. Several people. You didn't want to bite on it. Willing to give you money maybe to do it. You didn't want to do it. Do a David Carradine, yeah. I forgot what happened with David Carradine. Did he kill himself? He was so spiritual. God, if anybody was so spiritual, it was David Carradine. I don't know. Sometimes people know when they have an illness, that they know that they might be suffering in the future, and they just end it. They don't want it to happen. Anthony Bourdain had a lot of inner pain. Anthony Bourdain had everything to live for. But I think what happened when his girlfriend kind of fucked him over, and he had a lot of faith in her, Something happened with his, one of the girlfriends he had that he was deeply in love with. And I don't know why they broke up. I'd have to review that story, but I think he had something going on with him, and he didn't want to have to face it medically. And some people actually do that, knowing that, 'cause they don't want to suffer, and you can't blame them. And they don't want anybody their loved ones to suffer either, so they just do themselves in. Yeah, it happens a lot. More than you know. And look at Barry. Does he have anything to live for? He has nothing to live for. 0 minus 0 equals 0. Nothing to live for. You can't change yourself sometimes. You could try, and it's good to try. But you get defeated by your own self. I mean, it's like this curse you carry around. You can't help but run your mouth. You can't help but do stupid things that gets you into stupid trouble. It's just amazing. Carradine was an accidental death by autoerotic asphyxiation. Now, autoerotic. Explain what happened exactly with him. It's been a long time I've even examined anything about Carradine. Autoerotic was it the turn the exhaust on in the car or something? Or what did he do? Obama is in Bilibid prison. He's been in there a couple of weeks now, I guess. And he was in Bikitan for a month. Of course, prior to that, he was 2 years in Mandawi Detention Center. Choking himself by choking the chicken? How do you do that? Did he cut his blood circulation off or something? His penis? I know that you can do that. Do explain on that one, because that sounds very interesting. Choking himself while choking the chicken. How do you do that? I don't know. Some of the viewers may want to know. They may want to try it. Very interesting. Choking himself while choking the chicken. So he's stroking it, and how is he choking it? Choking the chicken, perhaps? Blood circulation? Very odd. Well, if you have an explanation, please do, since you mentioned it already. Oh, I imagine Kevin's going to go on a little earlier since I'm doing a show. He's scheduled for 9:15 or something. He'll be on a little bit earlier than that. I know how he works. He just wants to beg for money again. He don't want to spend his own. And people are stupid enough to donate to the guy. I love it, actually. I told you, I'm a student of human nature. I love to watch this shit. And what makes people donate to other people when they fully know they don't need the money. But then again, he rents a fucking apartment for like $450 at least a month, right? Come on, you're going to tell me you can't rent a room or a little apartment for less than 450 American dollars? There's something wrong with that. I'm sorry, but that's your gig. That you're spending so much on a fucking place like that, spending that much money when you don't have to, and you're complaining about money. Oh, people, I'm e-begging, give me some jingle in my pocket. Duh, feel sorry for me because I'm a fucktard. Feel sorry for me. Jesus Christ, Kevin. Seriously, man. I couldn't live your life, man. Not to save my life, I couldn't live your life. It sucks to be you. God, maybe you should invite Aboman up there to visit you. You guys get along real well. You're both fuck-ups. Oh, and by the way, I won't be listening to your show because I'll be going to bed slightly before that. So don't invite me to come on to be in a live stream. I'm not going to help you make any money. Sorry. I don't give to fucktards. Basically give them some hints where to take care of themselves, where to go. I'm kind of a specialist to see, but I don't promote your show, Big Cabin. I just don't. Rope releases. Okay. Rope releases when you pass out. Wait a minute now. Don't know how it releases, so there are accidents. Wait, say it's choking the chicken. So how did he pass? 9:15. Yeah, there's a little promo for him there. There you go. He'll probably make it earlier though. Okay, so I'm Pennywise. I'm just trying to understand this. He's saying that there was this autoerotic thing he did. He was choking the chicken. Okay, while get back to this. This is so bad. He was choking himself while he was choking the chicken. Oh, Carradine's rope did not release, so he had an accidental death. So, autoerotic. Okay, so he was trying to go the distance with an erotic experience, is what I think you're saying. Yeah, it is hard to understand. I mean, I don't do crazy things like that, so I wouldn't know. So it did not release. So somehow this rope, what did he do? Put around his neck? It did not release, so he had an accidental death. I might have to look it up. Now you got me thinking, wondering how he really died. That was David Carradine, but Keith Carradine, he's still alive, isn't he, Keith? Is that his son or brother or something, Keith Carradine? I get them mixed up. Grasshopper, I remember that. Grasshopper. I don't know, man. People get famous, they make a little bit of money, and they just go weird on the world. They go weird on themselves. I don't know why. They try doing stupid things in their life. You know, they got the money maybe to do it at the time, or maybe they just do things crazy because maybe they lost all their money and figured nothing to live for. So let me do something challenging. See if I can get some kind of interesting experience out of something. Cane, yeah. Grasshopper. Do 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 do. Yeah, I remember the music. Take this out of my hand, grasshopper. Then you'll be ready. You'll be ready. You got to be fast, grasshopper. Lot to learn. And he died in Bangkok too, huh? Anyway, says, do you have any updates on your old nemesis, Quentin Baloo? No, I think he's out there. I think he's one of the trolls. That's the only thing I could surmise. I'm pretty sure of it. He was heavy duty into YouTube. Maybe his wife got on his ass in a big way. I don't even know if he's still with her. Well, I don't care either way, but that was another fucking lunatic, man. That guy was driving at high speed one time, gets out of the car and starts doing a show on me. After driving high speed, he pulls over to a park to get out of the car to start ranking on me. I told you, every one of these fucking trolls is a loser in every fucking way. They had mental problems. Look at the title of my show. I think they all got something in common. It's like a disease on here or something, man. I don't know what it is. Coincidental? Could it be coinky dinky? I don't know. But they all gather here in the Philippines genre. Many don't even live in the Philippines, man. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend that I understand it at all. Is it coincidence? Does all these people have so many mental problems? I don't know. But it sure seems, look at every character on here I talked about. And look what I found out about all these people. Look what you discovered yourself about these people. What do you think? They all got a common denominator. They're fucking nuts. Fazio is nuts. They're all nuts. Anyway, I won't be able to watch Kevin's show tonight. I'm sure I'll see the highlights tomorrow. I'm not going to wait up for his show. It's just the same old shit. Frank, talk about Frank. Yeah, the little guy, this, the little guy, that. Then, of course, you know, Abo Man will be on there for sure. He always will. He looks for an audience, and he'll go to Big Kevin's show every single time, guaranteed. I'll guarantee you he'll be on the show. I guarantee you. And Abo has nothing to talk about. It did a thing earlier. Didn't even put on a show, just put a title or whatever. You know, the Frank kicked his dog. I didn't kick my dog. I talked about it earlier. Is that all you got, Abo? Seriously? You're digging just as deep as Barry did. Well, you guys really do have a lot in common. I mean, guys, let me tell you something. They got a lot in common. Trust me on that. They got a lot in common. Oh, they do. Oh, they do. And one of these days on my show, I will bring it out loud, and I'm going to tell you what they got in common. Just waiting for the right time. Didn't I tell you he'd go on live because I'm on? Didn't I tell? I know these people. Don't I know them? Boy, I know them well. Well, you guys can go live in it because I'm actually watching a movie with Gilda right now. I had to take a break. As I told you, I don't like to sit in the chair too long. 30 minutes, I'm up. Oh, look, he'll talk about whatever, try to get my goat. He said all he could say about Gilda. His day is coming. He's not going to last long. He's going to be gone just like Fazio. Let him just mouth off to whatever he wants to do, really. It's okay. He's a fucktard, you know. He can't speak for anybody. Look at the guy. I mean, look at the guy. Look at his life. What has he got to say about anybody else, really? Oh, yeah, he's just talk about Gilda to get my goat. Look, I've heard everything in the world about Gilda. They're so fucking jealous that I got a great gal. In a way, it's kind of charming that they are doing that kind of stuff because it really shows the green-eyed monsters. Gilda has nothing to do with anything on here. But they figured they'll pull my chain and get a reaction from me. Look, I've heard it all. I've heard it all. No, I'm not going there. I'm not in the mood, really. I want to finish this movie because I go to bed a certain time anyway. I try to keep a regular schedule. I can stay up as late as I want, but I try to keep a certain schedule when I go to sleep so I can get a certain amount of hours in. I don't feel like listening. It's the same old shit. What am I going to miss? Abo Man will be on there. Don C might show. It's the same fucking fucktard group that comes on Kevin's show. All right, I got to go. Anyway, go and see. It's going to be the same shit, same talk. He's got to put a little jingle in his pocket. He finds an excuse to do it. Kevin, I meant every fucking thing I said on here about you. Every fucking thing I said. I'm not taking back anything I said about you because it happens to be true. You are a major fuck jobs. And all the information comes together, you know, working for this elephant sanctuary of some sort. Didn't I say that too? So it must be the right information. And he's getting really defensive about it. I must have hit a nerve. Don C. had a bankruptcy. You don't have to make no bets with me, Don. Remember, I'm broke, remember? Oh, he got defensive. He got really defensive. Because if you weren't guilty of something, I mean, why'd you get so defensive? It doesn't make any sense at all. You know, normally you would shrug it off if it wasn't true, right? But apparently the information about Don C is true because he's getting so worked up about it. Oh my God. It's so obvious. You don't have to study psychology to figure this guy out. He had a bankruptcy. Okay, that's what happened. Yeah, he's shoveling up elephant dew in a voluntary position with an elephant sanctuary. And he did have a bankruptcy. He most certainly did. I'll pull up the full sheet maybe tomorrow. It'll show and outline where he's worked or name of his company to prove that I'm telling the truth. Don, you You still owe me. You're forgetting. You still owe me 50,000 pesos because you said that if I'll never get Barry in jail. So he's over there trying to make a bet with me. But the truth is, Don owes me 50,000. That was part of a deal. Don, and it was WTF, and it was, it was, what's his name? Dave, no, what's his name? Oh, fuck. I know his name. There were three people. So Don actually owes me already 50,000. He reneged on that situation. So I'm not going to negotiate with Don, who can't even keep his deal. Yeah, he said if you can get Barry in jail, I don't believe it's going to happen. And it did happen. And he wagered 50,000 pesos. So as far as I'm concerned, Don C owes me 50,000 pesos. Pay up, creep. Come on, pay up. Don't talk about negotiating something with me to prove something. I already did. And you owe me 50,000 pesos. There you go. A check? You gotta have a checking account. You don't get a check. You'd ever accept a check from him? No, it won't work that way. It'd have to be electronic transfer or something to my bank or something. Nah, he's gonna be in there a while. Yeah. I had to get up to take a piss. Kevin had a long show on it, and Don C came on. Bob Cooper. Oh my God. I couldn't believe what I heard with Bob Cooper. He's broke as a skoke. He was telling everybody he made $600,000 on his house in California. His mother left him. And it's supposed to be divided with the other kids, which means he'd have $250,000. And then he's talking about, oh yeah, I'm just going to give it away to some children's foundation. I don't want money. That makes much sense as what Kevin was talking about on his show. I saw the comments on there. Yeah, they were definitely attacking both of them, mostly Kevin. But then Kuya John came on and pretty much, laid a few things on Bob Cooper. Kind of an idiot he was. Oh yeah, you want to refuse $250,000. Bob Cooper, I don't need the money. I don't need the money. The hell you don't need the money. Jesus Christ, he's living in an 8,000. Now, see, the deal was Bob Cooper was supposed to buy some house or condo or something out there in the Philippines. Now, all of a sudden, everything changed. Can't believe anybody in there. See what I mean? All of a sudden, everything changed. Now he could only afford an 8,000 peso a month apartment. Some chumpy apartment. Yeah. Well, let's see. Frisbee's has bad form with paying people back. The Mantis has attended grifting school. Yeah. Oh, that show was a laugh. I went back and forth on it. Of course, Kevin, every other word he had to get in, he had to mention my name or something because he got so upset, got so defensive. I love it. I love it. I baited him into doing this. I knew exactly what he was going to do. He talks about a woman he's had for 9 months. He hasn't had no woman in 9 months. He hadn't had a woman in 20 years. Like I said, he's spinning his wheels. He don't leave the house. He don't leave the house. He can't even walk very far. It's the same situation when he lived with his aunt. Nothing has changed. Whether he went to Thailand, whether he went to Vietnam, nothing has changed. Nothing. Nothing has changed at all. Bob Cooper. What a waste case. God, do you see what he used to feed his dog? That's another thing, too. My God, I've seen things he shouldn't be giving to a dog that he'd feed him. No wonder they died. Bob Cooper. They said he was a cop. Yeah, right. Can you picture Bob Cooper being a cop? Then what did he say to Kuya John? That he got shot in the chest. He didn't get shot anywhere, man. The only shots you had were fucking shots of booze or fucking heroin or some shit. Yeah. The guy was a drugger, man, an alcoholic. I told you. Every one of these add him to the list. Another fucking loser. Another fucking loser. Yeah, you were a cop, my ass. Prove it. You were a cop. And you'd be getting a pension from that, wouldn't you? If you were a cop, you wouldn't be. You say you're on disability, Bob Cooper, and you said all you make, you'd be making buku money. If you got on disability, then, you know, Social Security, whatever. Or you say you're 60, okay, then you should get Social Security. But you're already on a disability, so that is your Social Security. Bob ain't making shit money at all. That's why he's living in an 8,000 peso per month apartment. Then you wonder, what the fuck did that chick ever see in him? She smelt his money. She heard that he was making 600,000 off his mom's house, and she said, wow, okay, I'm in it for that. Because look at her. Does that look like a match to you? That girl and Bob? And she's like, what, 26 years old and he's 60? Come on, Bob. Is it love that you're feeling? No, it's not love, Bob. It's the same old story, Bob. She's with you because she thinks you have money. You sold your mom's house. Then, like an idiot, and Kuya John was right, he's advertising getting $250,000, not pesos, as his share of the house that was sold. And yet, I admit that was really stupid. I admit that was stupid. See, I baited Kevin. I knew he was going to do a show about me. No matter what anybody was talking about on there, whether it was Bob Cooper, whoever, Kevin kept on bringing up me and the same old shit. Gilda's only with him for this. Gilda's only with him for that, or he can't have sex. Dude, I had sex 20 minutes ago. I can't have sex. She's satisfied. Could you actually perform, Kevin? I don't think you could, because I don't think it works. I don't think it works. Anyway, that's all I had to come on for. I'm heading to bed. Yeah, what I caught of Kevin's show was, it was pretty much the same that I expected, and I knew he was going to do a show. He was going to be 9:15, but after I did my show, he came on right away. He couldn't wait to come on and talk about me. Kevin, listen, you're a fucktard. You're a loser. You're always going to be a loser. You're not the young man you used to be. You can't walk for long distances. You spend your whole time in that fucking place until nighttime comes and it's cooler. And you hang in a bar and you buy women drinks just like you did. And it's first time in Thailand. The same thing you did in Vietnam. Buy them drinks, ring a bell to have companionship, and now you're back in Thailand. You're doing the same goddamn thing. You don't walk the streets. You don't do any videos except in that tiny little box of an apartment you're living in. Jesus Christ, you said you're paying $450 a month. Or did you get ripped off? Or did you get ripped off? Jeez, I'm talking Kevin. I mean, what's with you, man? What's with you? You're a walking excuse of a human. You repeat the same patterns over and over again in your life, expecting to see something different and positive, but you never achieve it. That's the definition of insanity. You're chasing your tail all the time. Pretty sad. God, it makes me feel so good about myself all the time when I hear how these people are such fucking losers. Bob, you've always been a fucking loser. You were a fucking drug addict and alcohol, like a lot of these losers on here. That's what you are. You know, Esther. Yeah, see, Bob has been paying Esther, which you don't know, folks. Bob has been sending money every month to Esther. You think she wants him to disappear? Don't you think he's happy that he came out there to the Philippines? That's her meal wagon. I mean, come on, Bob is not the biggest catch in the world. And she don't look that bad from what I've seen. I didn't see much of her picture. She didn't look that bad. Why would somebody like her, 26 years old, want Bob? He has a foul mouth. Okay, he's not the healthiest thing, and has a horrible attitude, and he's a wisecracker joker. He was into drugs big time. He was in jail, and then he's claiming he was a cop. That's the great one. He was a cop, and maybe his disability came from getting shot in the chest. Well, how would that disable you? If you didn't die from a wound in the chest, there's no reason you need to be on disability. Just because you got shot in the chest, if it's not affecting any organs or nothing, then you're fine. That's why I know it's a big crock of shit. Good night, folks. This has been a great day. Love it. Love it.